Hey guys, Savage Recovery back for another video. I seen this article and this article is crazy. I honestly cannot even believe what I'm seeing on in these videos, and I cannot even believe how the police responded and how the people watched. Like, this article, like, this whole story is crazy to me. Like, this is absolutely bananas to me. And the fact that this woman only got charged with aggravated assault, like, blows my mind. Like, if this is not female privilege, I don't know what is going on in this world. Like, if that's not female privilege, then I'm not a fucking white, balding, face tat criminal. Like, I am fucking like LeBron James. If what she just did is not what she did and how she was treated is not female privilege, then I'm fucking LeBron James. Like, this is absolutely crazy that this woman got mad that her husband was leaving her and she ran him over to kill him. Like, there's this narrative painted in society that men are the ones that are controlling and aggressive and violent, and there is a clear video of that woman being very aggressive and controlling and vindictive in a horrible way. Like, if Tripp doesn't get attempted murder, or if he dies murder, then the justice system is completely and utterly fucked. And the fact that he's a black man and she's a black woman, no one can say it's race-based. It can't be race-based. That is the most obscene video that I've ever seen. And the fact that all the people that were recording it didn't help that man. Like, we need to talk about this. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Like, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. Like, that is crazy to me. I cannot believe anybody that is absolute trash. Like, I am so disturbed. Like, you ran him over with the car, and then after you ran him over, you spit on him and talk shit to him while he was unconscious and bleeding from his head, and hit him with a bumper. Hit him with the bumper off the car you hit him with. Like, that is fucking crazy. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. Like, I don't even know what to think. I don't even know what to think. What do you guys think? Like, on this replay, what do you guys think about this? Like, this is absolutely crazy. It's crazy to me that this woman is gonna get. She got arrested for assault with a deadly weapon. Assault with a deadly weapon when she ran a man over with a car. Ran him over with a car, and that's assault with a deadly assault. That dude, if he lives, is going to be in traction and be lucky if he can walk. He's going to be lucky if he's going to be able to eat food, not through a straw. And that's assault with a deadly weapon. What about that case where that woman shot that man in the face and she didn't get attempted murder? She got probation. Like, the way that these laws, like, the way that these women are treated when they commit crimes and they're not pursued in the same way that a man is crazy. And the fact that man laid there dying and no one checked him for a pulse, no one went to give him medical attention, No one called a paramedic. No one did anything. They just let that man lay there. That to me is more egregious than most of the videos that I've literally seen. Like, I'm more upset by that video than the video of George Floyd. 100%. I'm 100% more upset with the video I just watched of Tripp running her husband over. Yeah, because if she attempted to kill him and she didn't kill him, then it's attempted murder. So she would get charged with attempted murder. There was a white person around. But it just didn't. That's crazy to me. Like, I cannot even believe that this woman ran this man over with a car and nobody helped this man. That is how you know that men are not considered to be shit in a society. Like, men are not considered to be shit. They didn't even check that man for a pulse. They didn't even try to give that man medical attention. The police didn't even check him for a pulse. The police didn't even call paramedics. They put a sheet on this man and pretended as if he was already dead without even caring if to check to see if he was still alive. Like, that's crazy. Like, that is absurd. I won't be surprised if she gets probation. I won't be surprised if she gets probation. I absolutely won't be surprised. And that's sad. That's sad. And my back is killing me, dude. My back is killing me so fucking bad. But I know my back doesn't hurt as bad as that dude's back does. Like, how are you going to run a dude over with a car because he was leaving you? Like, he no longer wanted to be married to you, and you ran him over with a car. In no way in my head you can't tell me that this woman didn't act like this before he wanted to divorce her or wanted to leave her. There's absolutely no way that that anyone can convince me that this woman was an angel all the time and never acted like this. Like, that right there shows you the reason this man wanted to leave her was because this bitch crazy. This bitch does crazy shit all the time. The fact that she ran this man over and ran her car into another person's car who had nothing to do with this argument and was proud of it, was fucking proud that she hit him with the car and talked shit to a man that was unconscious and spit on him and hit him with a bumper and danced, talking tough to him. Like, that is absolutely crazy to me. And the fucked up part is she was doing it while the cops were there. The cops didn't even think it was a reason to, like, oh, well, obviously you could think it was an accident when someone says, hey, there was just a person hit by a car and you show up. But then you see this motherfucker talking shit and dancing. At what point do you realize, yeah, that was her husband? If you listen to the video, she was saying, I gave you 18 years of my life, and this is what happens when you leave your wife. That's exactly what she said to him. She said that to him and then hit him with a car. Well, she hit him with a car and then said that to him as he laid there dying. That was her husband. Like, that wasn't just some random dude that she seen in a parking lot and they got into an argument and she hit him with the car. Like, I'm going to bring up the article right now. Like, I'll show you this article. This woman is 34 years old. Like, this shit is nuts. This shit is nuts, dude. So, yeah, okay, so I can't use this one because they want to be on some bullshit. Okay, so right here it says, video shows the man lying unconscious behind the car as Tripp stomps around the wreckage. Every day of my effing life, every day of my effing life, Tripp yells. This is what happens when you leave your wife, she screams at him as blood pools beneath his head. I gave you 18 years of my effing, 18 effing years. Unbelievably, at one point, she even picked up the bumper that broke off the car in the crash and slammed him with it. Horrified onlookers can be heard telling the woman that the victim is dead. Another is heard telling the mother to take her young child away, who was watching the spectacle unfold. Like I totally understand. Like I totally understand being upset, but the fact that this is your husband and he just wanted to divorce you and you ran him over with a car and you get charged with assault with a deadly weapon, you're telling me that that's all you get? I'm going to tell you right now, if I fucking smack the shit out of my girlfriend, I'm not going to get hit with assault. I'm going to get domestic violence. If I hit my baby mom with a car, no, see, that's the thing. At no point did he cheat. There's no evidence that he cheated. Like that's that woman justifying bullshit. That's that woman justifying bullshit. She said that he was leaving. When you say you're leaving, that means that you don't want to be with that person no more. So you can't, there's no evidence that he was cheating on her. There is none. Absolutely none. The only evidence is people saying it. In the video, she doesn't say anything about him cheating. She only talks about him leaving her. That's it. The reason that narrative is being put out there that he cheated was because they're trying to justify this girl's actions. Like, they're trying to justify this girl's actions. And like you can tell that by the fact that they didn't even arrest her for attempted murder. If I ran my baby mom over with a car, I guarantee you I wouldn't get assault with a deadly weapon. I guarantee it. I don't give a fuck if I get into an argument with a dude in a parking lot and run him over with a car. I'm not going to get hit with assault with a deadly weapon, especially when the dude is he looks dead. That dude was not like he looked dead. How are you going to tell me that was assault with a deadly weapon? If I did what she did to a man or a woman, I would get a murder case or attempted. I would not get assault with a deadly weapon. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy to me. What about that chick that shot dude in the head? She ended up getting probation. Like, here's another incident right here. I'm going to share my screen. Look at this. The woman who shot a man in the head while they were broadcasting on Facebook Live is set to be released early from prison on shock probation. Damper was sentenced to serve 10 years for aggravated assault. This woman shot him in the fucking face, right in the head, on camera, and got charged with aggravated assault and 5 years for tampering with evidence. She got 5 years for tampering with evidence and 5 years for aggravated assault. She pled guilty in August to the counts after April 2018 shooting. Damper was to serve the sentence concurrently. A judge ruled in favor of granting the shock probation on Thursday after Damper's attorney filed a motion. Holmes was shot in the head while he and Damper and another man were inside a vehicle streaming to Facebook. Holmes survived, but has had to undergo rigorous rehab since then. If it was his child, then would she be out? That's how he needs to think about it. If it was his child, would you give her 6 months? Because I doubt it. In a statement, Harris County District Attorney's Office spokesperson, Damper shot a 26-year-old and tried to wash the gun residue off her hands. For that, Harris County District Attorney prosecuted for aggravated assault and tampering with evidence. And she got out because of COVID. Damper has been in state prison for nearly 6 months. She will be transferred back to Harris County Jail and wait for the next court setting. That's when the judge will lay out the conditions for probation for the next 9.5 years. Dude, listen. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. If they caught me on camera in a hoodie with a mask, with gloves, shooting another person in the face, and they had a reasonable way to convict me, I would not be getting aggravated assault with shooting someone in the face. Katana, stop. No one can come here and tell me that there's not a such thing as female privilege. No one can tell me that the problem with the court system is a white and black thing. No one can tell me that, because the 2 cases I just pulled up, the 2 cases was a black woman attacking a black man. And in both situations, the women were undercharged and the men are not going to get any justice. That man that got shot in the face now is in a wheelchair and he's paralyzed and he needs constant medical attention. And she had to pay only $50,000. That's it. $50,000. And he ended up doing more than 50,000, like just the first 3 or 4 days or week of him being in the hospital from being shot was more than $50,000. The woman ran dude over with a fucking car and spit on him and talked crazy to him and hit him with a motherfucking bumper and got assault with a deadly weapon. Listen, I once got fired from a job for asking a girl who was giving another guy a ride home that lived down the street from me if she could take me home. And I got fired for sexual harassment. And I asked her in front of a manager. If she could take me home. And they told me that me asking her to take me home was me sexually hitting on her. And I said, how? She was taking another dude home and I needed a ride. Me asking for a ride home was tied to me being sexually harassing a woman. This woman shoots a dude in the face and gets fucking assault with a deadly weapon and does 6 months in jail. Does 6 months and gets 9.5 years of probation. 9.5 years of probation. 9.5 years of probation. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that is, I can't even. Dude, I can't even. Like, I need a woman to come up here and defend this. Like, I need a woman to come up here and tell me that I'm crazy. Because this is Danielle Spencer. It's nice to see you. I've never seen you on the channel before. Nice to meet your acquaintance. And little Soviet Union. I've never seen you guys in the chat before. Thank you for coming and supporting this stream. Nice to meet you. Like, yeah, like nobody. Like, nobody, man. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, here, I'm going to drop this link. And Danielle or any woman that's in the stream, come down here, and if come up on the stream and tell me that I'm crazy. Tell me that there is not a female privilege. Like, explain to me in any form how both of these cases is justified. It's justified for these women to get this light sentence. Like, just fuck anybody, because that is, like, I'm like, right there completely shows you that the justice system is not biased towards black and white. It's more biased towards men and women. Because if a black woman can fucking shoot a black male in the face and get 6 months in prison and 9.5 years of probation, and a woman can run a dude over with a car, her own husband, and get assault with a deadly weapon after spitting on him, dancing, hitting him with a bumper, and talking shit, and that's assault with a deadly weapon, you cannot no one in this country can convince me that the police are out here just hunting down black people, and the real problem is police brutality and black people getting fucked by the justice system. Like, nobody can convince me of that. I am more bothered by seeing that woman shoot that dude in the face on camera and that woman spitting and dancing on her husband than I am seeing George Floyd die on camera. Like, I am honestly 100% more offended by that. At least with George Floyd and the cop, the cop was the policy. He was allowed to do it. He was allowed to use his knee. Like, he was allowed to use his knee. He didn't break protocol, and Floyd was high and resisting. Like, that dude on the live stream that got shot in the face, he wasn't fighting, he wasn't threatening, he wasn't robbing, he wasn't raping, he wasn't doing anything. He just was sitting there with this broad, and she shot him in the face. And the other dude was trying to leave his wife, and she ran him over with the car. So this idea that black women are the most unprotected women on the earth is crazy, because you can literally shoot a motherfucker in the face and get 9.5 years of probation. 9.5 years of probation. Oh, man. You can try to kill somebody and still not get attempted murder. You still can't get it. You got like, I'm sorry. He definitely was a victim of feminism. He definitely was oppressing black women. Like that, like, the only argument that any person can make to me right now that is even somewhat some way feasible, like not even really, it's a stretch, is to say that both of these men were oppressing black women and they had to be taken out. And even then, like, you are reaching to the fucking moon. Like, you are reaching so hard that you're going to fucking pull your shoulder out of place trying to reach there. Like, we're going to watch this video. We're going to watch this video of this woman with her husband and tell me, you guys are going to tell me exactly how this woman, how black women are the most unprotected women on earth. There she is clapping at him. Now she's tough and talking tough to him. Now she's clapping again because if he didn't get it the first time, if he didn't realize that she was serious when she hit him with that car, the clapping at him definitely got her point across. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one. I don't know if I'm the only one, but like, if I got hit by a car, I would think that you were pretty serious at that point. When I looked and seen that car coming at me and I tried to get out the way and I couldn't, and I felt the car crush my spinal cord, I would think that you were pretty serious. I don't think that you would have to clap in my face to let me know that you meant business. I think the not feeling my legs or my fingers or, you know, having trouble breathing might make that clear. Like, that might have been pretty clear. Like, yeah, if that dude couldn't jump a fucking car, his physical health was not good enough to move out the way of that car. Like, what did she think he was, Kobe? Did she think that she was going to drive at him and he was going to pull off the Kobe in that commercial and jump over the car? Wasn't that Kobe that jumped over the car in the commercial? Like, it is a tick. Like, it is a tick that she could not control. She had to clap. Now, is any woman going to come here and tell me that this woman never acted like this before? She never acted crazy. She never did any violent, crazy shit ever. But him divorcing her, she just snapped. Like, this is the first time ever this lady snapped. She just been going 34 years in her life and never harmed a soul. And he decided he didn't want to be married to her anymore. And he's a bad man. And she just fucking snapped. This is the first bad word. The shit she was saying was the first time she'd ever said anything that was not polite in her life. She had never been that angry in her life before. She had never done anything wrong. She was a upright citizen that read to blind children and donated her time to feed the deaf homeless people every Sunday and every Friday. And nobody on earth has anything bad to say about her. and they never seen this coming. All of her friends would say she was just a nice person, and this came out of nowhere. Got me fucked up. There's no way that this woman has not had problems in the past with people, and just out of blue. Like, absolutely not. Anybody? Anyone want to come up here and defend this shit? Does anyone want to come up here and try to, like, does anyone want to come defend this woman? Because I don't think you can. I don't think there's any sort of defense for this. Like, that is the most, like, that shit is, it's obscene. Let's watch the next video. Like, I don't, let's see. Okay, maybe, maybe, just maybe. So that's the first video. Maybe, just maybe. All right. That was just a rare, like, minute or 2 minute video that that was the worst that woman has ever acted. Maybe in this second video, she got herself together, and maybe, just maybe, she brought herself back to the saint of a woman that she was prior to this man wanting to divorce her. And she's going to go back into her Mother Teresa, helping the children and the blind, and just being a hero and a queen among women. Let's see. Let's see. There's the clapping. Okay, so we already seen that part. So maybe it gets better. Okay, there's the second clap. There was the spit. So maybe she's going to get herself back together. Okay, well, hopefully when she gets on the other side of this car. Nope. Okay, let's see if there's another video. Is there another video of this chick? Nope, there's not. There's not. That man is in critical condition, and he hasn't died as far as I know yet. Yeah. Like, no one can convince me that this woman is sane, and no one can convince me that this right here is justified. Cynthia Brown. Okay, let's look up Cynthia Brown. That's what we're going to do. We're going to find Cynthia Brown. Okay, it's not Cynthia. I'm totally mispronouncing that. released after 15 years in prison for murder, was serving 15 years of a life sentence for killing a man when she was 16. Earlier this year, the governor, usually stepped and granted Brown clemency for what he had called a tragic and complex case. Over the 16 years, the fight for Brown's release was brought lawyers to her defense and backing from the celebrities, including Kim Kardashian and Rihanna. Her case also inspired the introduction of the state legislation aimed at protecting minors who are victims of sex trafficking. In 2006, Brown has convicted of aggravated robbery and first-degree murder for killing a 43-year-old real estate agent whom she went home with after he picked her up for sex at the Sonic Drive-In in Nashville. She told police that she pulled a pistol out of her purse and fatally shot Allen because she thought he was reaching for a gun. Oh my God, this bitch needs to be in prison. Okay, so let me get this straight. So this girl was at Sonic and she was picked up for sex and a man picked her up and she was out there selling herself. He didn't kidnap her. It doesn't say anything about her having a pimp, and she thought he was going for a gun, so she shot him. Okay, I believe that. That's fair. Why would you rob him? Let me get this straight. So you were out there selling your vagina for money because you wanted money, but you thought this man was going to kill you, so you shot him. That makes sense. Like, I can believe you up to that. But then you robbed him for money. That makes no sense. That's absolutely crazy. And I just want to let everyone know that I just officially hit 250 subscribers. So that is a new milestone for myself. That's crazy. That is absolutely fucking nuts. Like, I can't even. That's absolutely nuts. Like, that is crazy. Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know, man. Like, I don't even know what to think, to be honest with you. Like, that is the most insane shit that I've ever heard in my life. Like, thank you. I got the Today Slave just subscribed. That's absolutely nuts. Like, so you paid the man 100. The man paid you 100. Oh, I just hit 251, guys. I'm now at 251. We broke 250. But so you're gonna tell me that a man paid you $150 and then you shot him, then robbed him, and it was because you were a victim of human trafficking when you were out there selling yourself? Only women can literally do something and put themselves in a situation and do some fuck shit, and then they're still the victim. Oh, also, this is unrelated, but the Today's Slave, I didn't realize that you had another channel. Nice sub count. I appreciate it. You're a little bit angry. Like, even for me being angry and savage, you're a little angry for me. Jordan Williams, you resubscribed. Oh my God, I thought you were always a subscriber, Jordan Williams. But your video that you sent me, I would totally, completely agree with you that there's clear evidence that she looks like his mom and that she said stuff that makes it look like that's his mom and he looks like her. But at the same time, I disagree with you on the Peter Pan stuff, and I also disagree with you on why he was like why he was into Peter Pan and all those things. I disagree with you on that. I do think that was more of him being abused as a child by the Jacksons, because his older brothers said that his father used to have executives come and do stuff with them. And if you look up Peter Pan comes from the god Pan, which was Pan himself. No problem, Jordan. Also, when it comes to Peter Pan is based on the god Pan, which is a god of pederasty, which was about boy love. So I definitely believe that there's more to that than just him living that lie. I think it's more of an abuse thing, and I think it's more of a occult thing. Also, I don't think that Michael that was getting all the plastic surgeries and was white. I don't think that's Michael. I think Michael was no longer Michael when he got burnt in that Pepsi commercial. I don't think that is. I don't think that I don't like. Yeah. I'm still slow cooking this chicken. I haven't pulled them apart and actually ate them. But yeah. So long story short, I agree with you. Yes, but okay, so I'm not going to tell you that he's not a virgin, but I can also tell you that when I was a child, I was abused by a male, and I considered myself to be a virgin because that sex was unwanted. So there's evidence of his brothers saying that Michael got it the worst, that the executives did mess with those kids. That's from his brother, who said that he was involved in it happening to him as well. But also, I know a lot about religion and the occult and a lot of the symbolism and a lot of the things that are in music. So, like, I'm not going to disagree with you. I totally believe that back then they probably did have her give her kid up or keep him out of the spotlight as her kid because they didn't want to. Yes, you're right. I did have sex later. I did. But I'm just saying I'm not saying that he had sex with kids, and I'm not saying that he had sex with anyone. I'm just saying that whole Peter Pan thing plays more into MK Ultra and more into child abuse than just him being lost and not having a mom, is all I'm saying. Like, him living the lie of his not being able to be with his mom. I think it's more than just that. I'm just saying. That bitch. But I'm at 252 subs. Just got up to 252. Jesus. Look at that. You guys are showing me mad love. Mad love. But yeah, as it comes down, I really like these three stories prove to me that there is not a white and black issue in the court system. It is a man versus woman issue, because I'm going to tell you right now, there is absolutely no way that a woman could pay me money to go to her house and perform acts with her and her pay me $150 and me kill her and say, oh, I'm a victim of human trafficking and she was reaching for a gun and I robbed her, and then get clemency. That would never happen. Like, they didn't give Tookie Williams clemency. They still gave him the death penalty. And he hadn't committed a crime in like 20 years. And he also got like Nobel Peace Prize and also wrote books about children and was given awards. And they still killed him. Like that is absolutely crazy to me. Like, I can't even believe that these women aren't getting murder cases or attempted murder. Like, that's crazy. Like, is Danielle still in here? Danielle, are you still in here? If you're in here, do me a favor and come up here and try to tell me this. Like, if there's any females in this chat, some female jump up here and tell me. So Biden's not going to be the nominee. He's going to bow out, and they're going to put, I'm going to guess more likely, Hillary Clinton or Michelle Obama is going to be one of the two that goes in, if not both. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely not. That's not going to be who's the president. Like, even Biden said that he was a placeholder. He said he was a placeholder, and they're just using him as a shield. It won't be them. It won't be, because they're not going to waste. They're not going to waste Buttigieg. Oh, and I have a subscriber named Cool Kumasabi. So he just subscribed. So what does that put me at? That puts me at, yeah, still at 252. Yeah, it's still. Oh, yeah, like. Yes. Well, the reason that they're not going to. So this we have to understand. They know it doesn't matter who they put in the Democratic Party as the nominee. Trump isn't going to win, or Trump's going to win. It doesn't matter who in the Democratic Party. They're not going to be able to beat Trump. So they're not going to put Buttigieg up there, because if Buttigieg goes up there and goes against Trump and loses, that damages his ability to win. How many presidents have you seen? How many people have you seen that run against another candidate and then they lose and then become president later? You don't see it. Like Al Gore never became president. Mitt Romney never became president. Like, they're not going to waste Buttigieg. He's young. Buttigieg is young, and if they put him out there and he gets devoured in the election, because Trump's going to win. Trump has like a 91% chance of winning, and the support for Trump is huge. That's going to damage his career for the long time. He's not going to be able to come back from that. It's not worth it. Bush Sr. didn't lose and then become president. Yeah, I don't see anything about it. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a fraud effort. Yeah, there's definitely going to be. Yeah. He's not going to lose the election. They're not trying to win the election. They're trying to delay the election, because if they delayed the election, the Congress is allowed to impose a president until the results come back. Biden already said that he's a placeholder. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I want to know if there's any women that are in this live that can come up here and defend these court cases. I forgot my branding to go buy. Like, there's absolutely no way that anyone can tell me anything different. Like, that is absolutely crazy. That is absolutely crazy. My back is killing me, guys. Like, my back is absolutely killing me. Like, I feel like I've been riding a horse all day, or riding a dirt bike or something. My back is on fire. On fire. I think that the last thing where he said he's going to be going for a while is because, yeah, he also said Q in it. He said Q in it, and also he's saying that he's going to be leaving for a while because people want him dead. That's just a fact. Man, I am in so much fucking pain. It is ridiculous right now. So, no, I have a back injury, and I also do physical labor, and I need to get surgery, but I cannot. I can't take the time off work to get surgery. I need my shoulder. So when I was 17, I broke my ankle on my left side, and I never went to the hospital to get it fixed. And my leg is not right, so it puts my hips off. And I got into an accident or fighting or something, and I jammed the bone right here in my arm is shoved up into my shoulder. There's no space in if you take an x-ray of my shoulder, there's supposed to be a gap between your shoulder, like your shoulder bone and your arm, and there's none. Mine is literally jammed all the way up. So I need to have surgery on my shoulder, but with my leg being off, it throws my hips off, and my whole left side just off, so it fucks my back up. I need to get a masseuse. That's what I need? I need to go get a masseuse, or I need to get yeah, I need to get a masseuse, or I need to go see a chiropractor. My shit is fucked up. Oh man, booze and painkillers would be amazing right now, but I'll fuck up my whole life if I do any of that. So what do you guys think about this topic? I'm gonna drop this stream. Anyone can come up here to the panel and we can discuss this, because this is crazy to me. It's crazy that this happened. Absolutely crazy. Dude, if I get massage to come to slide through with the massage, I'd be cool with that. Like, my back is so fucked up right now. I don't even need a happy ending. Like, I'm cool with no happy ending. I need a masseuse. Like, I need a motherfucking masseuse. Yeah, like, obviously you can't get a masseuse to come through at 12:16 a.m. on the East Coast. Oh man. I couldn't do AOC. I couldn't do it. Like her talking just like turns me off. God, my fucking back is killing me. Where's Masseuse at? Is she? Oh, there's Jordan. My bad, Jordan. I wasn't even paying attention to you.
What's up, Kyle?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that with that video you just showed, man, that shit was crazy. I didn't really see the whole thing. I just saw kind of the ending where he was bleeding, and then she picked up the freaking hub of the car, started slamming it on his head. You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm listening to you.
Oh,
I just have I just have my phone's going off, so I'm multitasking. I apologize for.
No, I didn't know. 'Cause I don't see the symbol going off.
Yeah, it's my phone's right here.
Now I know with MTR's live stream, we was talking about it, and we was kind of one of the guests was kind of thinking, we were talking about if it was a man, it wouldn't be the same situation, and the guest was like a female, she didn't really believe so, and we were kind of just going through everything, like like Jay-Z and Solange, when she like beat his ass in the elevator, like everybody was laughing about that, but I think it was like Ray Rice, he hit his girlfriend in the elevator, and that shit was like no joke.
Yeah, but he also kind of grabbed her by the hair and drug her out of the elevator too.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure he was the one that punched her in the face and then grabbed her and drug her out.
Oh yeah, that's different then.
But even still, she hit him with a car, then attacked him and spit on him.
Yeah, the crazy thing is apparently they wasn't even dating. She was just somebody he had sex with.
No. That was her husband.
That was her husband?
She ran her husband over.
What? Well,
People are putting.
Yeah, I guess I can't just trust people's mouth. You know why that happened?
Yeah, because he was leaving her.
Oh. Man. Yeah, you should do a live stream just dedicated to like the craziest thing women have ever done. I seen a meme where this lady stabbed her husband because he stopped eating her pussy every night.
That is absolutely absurd, and I bet she got attacked. I bet she got assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah, like, yo, like that's scary, man. Her husband, and because he stopped.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but no, you ain't gonna. No. I'm good. I'm good on women if I can get stabbed for not eating pussy every night.
And Blake said that she hasn't been to trial yet. I wonder if she got arrested at least, or is she just sitting at home?
She got arrested for assault for running him over. She got arrested for assault with a deadly weapon.
Okay, so they took her into custody right away. Yeah. Bro,
that is crazy. Like, I'm telling you right now, like if you watch the video, what they did was absolutely trash.
Yeah, so she ran. Like, how did she run him over twice? She like ran him over and then backed up.
Yeah.
Shit. And then she got out, fucking yelled at him. People just standing there, and she and she took the help. I can't believe people watch that. You know, to be devil's advocate. People were saying that if it was a woman, people would have intervened. But there was a case where everybody was talking about it. This woman got stabbed to death by a man, and there were like 30 witnesses, but nobody did anything. We were talking about that in my psych class where they were kind of saying how people just kind of have like a pack mentality where if you're in a group of people, but you don't see other people helping, you're not going to want to be the first person. But if you're in a group of people and you see one person go to help, you're going to see a lot more people go to help because somebody else did the initial action.
Listen, that's hog shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's just a bunch of pussies in this world. And at the end of the day, if I seen some dude get hit by a car, I'm gonna try to give dude CPR. I'm gonna try to help the dude. It doesn't matter if someone else is helping or not. Like either you're with the shits or you're not with the shits. Like a lot. Like if you notice, a lot of the people that were around were women.
Oh, there was women. There were women. Okay.
There was one man, and he went and picked up the bumper off dude's body and threw it like off the guy. But the cops didn't even go to help that dude. They didn't even go to check to see if that dude was good. Like no one cared. No one.
So the cops were already there. They weren't called. They were already there at the scene.
No, they got called and they showed up. Listen. So they got called for a car accident, and they showed up. And I'll just go with the video. I'll show you what the video does. What the video says.
Mm.
And I'm gonna go to Vlad. What's this chick's name?
You ever saw the video where one of those cops from the George Floyd case went to Walmart?
No.
Basically, he got this one lady was following him around with a camera, and she was yelling across the whole grocery store, "He killed George Floyd! He killed George Floyd!" And like basically try to get him jumped as soon as he left the store.
Yeah, like I'll be honest with you. Like I'm more distraught by these videos than I am that.
Mm.
Oh, I just want you guys to know. When you put in this chick's name, I am the top search. Right now. My live is the top search on Google. I am the top search on Google. That is amazing to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, so I'm gonna show this video. I don't know if this is where they show the cops getting there. But I'm gonna show you guys this video. Now there's not gonna be sound with it. I don't know exactly how to get the sound to play through my computer. That's something I've not learned yet.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that's the first video. And then there's a video from another point of view, which is right here. Yeah, so that right there is that is the one video. Let me see if I can find the videos where the cops are involved. Okay, those are the same videos.
Yo, Slade, that's so true. If he lives and does an interview, man, that'd be crazy. Like, wow. You could probably write a book about this or something.
No, he won't. He won't be able to get any money from it. He has a penis. He's not a victim.
I guess. I mean, like, what? The only men that make money off of pain that I can think of is the Part 5. And that's because of...
They weren't wrongly convicted.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the story.
Here's a picture of the two of them. This is her husband. This is her. Bay. Let me see in this video if they show all of it. Okay, so dude takes it off of him. See, when you leave your wife, so they're married. That she just said that.
Imagine she got alimony.
I don't know if... I'm not sure if it got to that. Like, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure if they had gone through the divorce completely. I don't know. I don't know the specifics. All I can tell you is that for sure they met. Like, they were. She said that when you leave your wife, she did state that they were married and that he was leaving. So all I can concur from that is he no longer wanted to be with this crazy broad, and she hit him with a car and then proceeded to tough talk the dying man, and she got hit with assault with a deadly weapon.
Mm-hmm. That's the charge, assault with a deadly weapon. It's not attempted murder.
No, it's assault with a deadly weapon. It's what she got charged with. That's what she got arrested with.
Damn.
Okay, so let's get to. Come on.
Well, Blake said his ex lied about him, called the cops on him.
Yeah, so there you see they won't show all of it. Like that's what's pissing me off. Like you can see the people, you can like they're gonna cut in and out like a bunch of fags. Like I seen a video. I might have to go to Tommy's page. Like I literally might have to go to Tommy's page to look at this.
So they got the original video unedited.
I don't know what the victim's last name is. I really don't know. It could be her lover, but she said wife, and all I can go off of, the only thing that I can go off of is the facts that are presented. Like that's all I can go off of. I'm gonna go to Tommy's page and see if I can find. He just had a video where he came out. Yes, I think he released it just a little bit ago, and this was in the live stream. And I'm not doing this because I want, to pull up Tommy's. I'm not doing this to pull up Tommy's videos and to cast them on my stream or nothing. But this is the only place I've seen someone that has the full video. So, okay, so this is the full video. So so yeah, so as you can see, like she's just walking around. She's just walking around on the phone. So there's the sheet. There's the sheet. There she is. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find the spot where the cops are. So you see that there's a police car right there. So right there. So there's the cop. The cop walks over. He walks past the woman. He looks at the body. There's the woman in the back. There she is. There she is. There's the cop. She's not handcuffed. Here comes the ambulance. There they go. Now they're starting to help him. Like, yeah, like, yeah. Like, this is how sad this is. Like, this man laid there after she talked shit to him. She spit on him. It took her that long. It took them that long to be able to give that man. You just sent me the whole video? Well, I just went through the whole video with Tommy. With Tommy's video. So unfortunately, hopefully Tommy doesn't get mad that part of his stream is in my stream. But yeah, like as you guys can clearly see, she literally like gave no No fucks. She didn't care. Not one bit. She didn't care one bit about that dude. And like when I read the article clearly stated that she got hit with assault with a deadly weapon. Assault with a deadly weapon.
I mean, they might change it once trial starts.
Yes, but this is what you have to understand. This is why I'm telling you this is horseshit. Okay, you can see, like, just on the scene, when the cops pulled up, the woman on like that was recording said arrest her, and then the police ended up talking to the witnesses, and the witnesses said, "Hey, he walked away from her and she ran him over with the car." And then there were people there that seen her hitting him and spitting on him and clapping on him and talking shit to him the whole time. So even if you're a cop that's got a IQ of room temperature, you know that it wasn't an accident and that she planned on doing it. And then by her saying that's what you get, how is that not attempted murder? How does that not fit the criteria for attempted murder?
I mean, I don't know much about the law there, but I mean, just on common sense, I'd say, yeah, that'd be attempted murder.
Okay, so I'm going to read you attempted murder. Okay, so in English criminal law, attempted murder is the crime significantly prepared to commit an unlawful killing and having a specific intent to cause the death of a human being under the Queen's peace. The phrase more than merely is specific by the Criminal Acts of 1981. So this is with the United Kingdoms.
They're United the States.
In the United States, attempted murder is a crime. A conviction for attempted murder equals a intent to murder, meaning that the perpetrator either tried to murder and failed, attempted to shoot the victim and missed, or shot the victim and the victim survived, or took a substantial step towards committing a murder. Purchasing a gun or otherwise deadly weapon and writing about his or her intent to kill. So with that definition of the United States criteria for murder or for attempted murder, that woman falls under that statute. And the woman that shot that man in the face on live stream falls under that definition. But that woman got arrested for aggravated assault and then did 6 months in prison and then is getting 9.5 months of probation.
Wait, a woman shot somebody in the head and got 6 months of probation? No, 6 months of prison?
So I'm going to share my screen, and right here is here's the article. Here's the article. So here's the video. I'm not going to show the video on YouTube, but this woman who shot a man in the head while broadcasting on Facebook live stream is set to be released early from prison on shock probation. Was sentenced to 10 years for aggravated assault count and 5 years for a tampering with evidence charge. She pled guilty in August to the counts after the April 2018 shooting of Holmes. Damper was to serve the sentence concurrently. The judge ruled in favor of granting the shock probation on Thursday after Damper's attorney filed a motion hearing. A hearing was held in May. Holmes was shot in the head while he and Damper and another man were inside a vehicle streaming to Facebook. Holmes survived but has had to undergo rigorous rehab since then. If it was his child, then would she be out? Asked Shearer. Okay, so regardless, if we come down here, keep going down, keep going down, keep going down, keep going down. Damper has been in prison for nearly 6 months. She will be transported back to Harris County Jail and wait for the next court setting. That's when the judge will lay out the conditions of her probation for the next 9.5 years. It is unknown when she will be formally released.
Sheesh. I don't even know what kind of state can give a sentence like that.
And as Blake put, under Cuyahoga, my county, under Virginia Code 18.2-25, attempted capital murder is a class 2 felony. If convicted, you may be sentenced to 20 years to life in prison and a fine up to $100,000. Now, you would have to look at capital murder, because attempted murder might not be capital, and also capital might also have to do if you're killing police or elderly or children. There might be certain clause that puts what capital means under the state law. But the fact of the matter is that woman was on camera and clearly shot that dude in the face and did 6 months in prison and is doing 9.5 years of probation. This woman ran this dude over and talked shit to him and is getting charged with assault with a deadly weapon, which assault with a deadly weapon in her state is probably up to 5 years. She's not going to do 10. Like, she's not going to end up doing 20 years on assault with a deadly weapon. The maximum I think it holds is probably 5 years. So if this woman can get 10 years on 2 felonies and get out after 6 months, this woman can easily get 5 years and do 6 months and get out, or even only do a year and get probation. So this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Like, I can't believe that this is a thing. Like, I'm gonna drop the link for the stream. Anyone else can jump up here and tell me what they think about this crazy. We can get more than one person up here, and we can all discuss how crazy this shit is.
Look, I mean, you know how the laws are. You know that women get less harsh sentences than men. You know that society views men as a weapon and women as the victims. So, of course, if a man gets attacked, we're not going to see it as serious.
Yes, I understand that, but running a motherfucker over with a car, like I'm sorry to say, but that is absolutely nuts. Just running someone over with a car, that's crazy. That's crazy, crazy, crazy.
You know what we should do? If we should start a riot for men, start burning down women abuse centers.
No, because they'll come out and shoot our ass.
True.
Like, that's the thing that people don't realize is like you can't, like, a lot of motherfuckers, we can't do the same shit that other people do. Like, they legitly just roll out and kill us. Men can't act the way that women act. That's why most of the time when you see men getting shot by the police, it's because they act out and they shoot them. Like, it's that simple. Like, it's not that's it. Like, that, the end of the story. Like, you're not gonna be able to act the same way, but a woman can act crazy and they're not just going to immediately shoot her. Listen, you still got people that are out here crying for Taylor, who got shot, and her boyfriend was selling drugs, and her boyfriend pulled a gun and shot at the cops, and she got killed when the cops returned fire, and they're still saying that she should have never died and that she was a victim, even though packages were coming to her house. They had a warrant for her house, and her boyfriend shot, and that's why the police shot. And they still are saying that she should have never died, that she was a victim. Like, that's how crazy this world is.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't know much about the story, but the thing I heard was he shot because he didn't know the cops were coming, and the neighbors said they didn't hear the cops knock. But I mean, I don't know how they're gonna hear knocking. That's the thing I wasn't sure about.
Okay, so this is the lie. Here's the lie. So they had a no-knock warrant for her house. They had a no-knock warrant. They had a no-knock warrant. They had a no-knock warrant for her house and for the dope boy's house. They went through the dope boy's house and they didn't knock. There was no incident. They went to her house and they knocked. When they knocked, that's when the boyfriend got the gun, and then they shot at the cops. It wasn't that they broke in and they thought they were being robbed. It was that they had knocked and they knew the cops were there.
I mean, how do we know that? It's a thing because
it's in the police report.
No, I'm saying, how do you know he didn't hear the knock? I mean, the police aren't going to know that.
But this is the thing. They knocked on the door, and then they got shot at. They didn't break in the door. A no-knock warrant means you just kick the door in and come in. When you knock on the door, you say police. And I don't know if you've ever had the cops kick in your door, but when they knock on your door, they make it 100% clear that they're the police. They bang loud as shit and they scream, and they don't knock once. They knock multiple times.
Okay. So you're saying when they knock, they're loud.
Correct. Like, anybody in the comments right now who can say that they've had the cops knock at their door and just by the knock that it was the police. The police just knocked a certain way that you instantly know that it's the police. Like, there is no doubt in your mind. Like, when you're committing crimes and selling drugs and you hear this knock, you know it's the police at the motherfucking place. It's not just some random neighbor.
Here's the thing with that, which kind of doesn't add up. So if they knocked and they shouted, "This is the police," why didn't the neighbors hear? At first, I kind of discredited that because I thought knocking was just they knocked. But if you're saying they shouted, that's kind of weird that the neighbors didn't hear anything. Because I think it was was it a house or an apartment?
I think it was an apartment. I could be wrong, but at the same time, what about? Okay, here's a question. So when Mike Brown got shot, why did his best friend say that he had his hands up and didn't shoot? Explain to me why, when Duck got killed, his mom said that he wasn't a gangster or a gangbanger and it was a false narrative. Why did all those people come out and say it was a false narrative?
I mean, yeah, they're closer to them. They're closer. Of course, they're gonna lie.
You're gonna tell me that you're going to tell me that your neighbors are really paying attention if someone knocked on your door or if the cops were there? Like, come on.
I'm actually going to say that because people are nosy as hell. If they hear this is the police, they're gonna put their ear to the door or something.
So what's more likely? Do you think that the neighbors were black or white?
I mean, I don't know nothing about the neighborhood. I think it depends on the time of day. If it was maybe a time of day where people were probably not home or they were sleeping.
It was at night.
That makes more sense. Yeah, that they probably might not have heard.
But even if it was in the middle of the day and it was it was a mostly black neighborhood, do blacks mostly like the police? Do blacks mostly snitch to the police? Do blacks have a love for the police?
I think it depends on the age. Like, the older people, they will like the police more because they're the ones calling the police because they're the ones getting the shit robbed.
Again, are there not old people? We're talking about Brianna Taylor, but the point that I'm saying is, when it comes down, as a whole, majority of black folks don't like the police. If you're going to tell me that old people do, then there wouldn't be an 80% unsolved murder rate in Chicago, because there's old people that live there. So they would just be snitching and telling the cops everything all the time, that there wouldn't be as many murders as there are. You can't tell me in the culture of the black community that there's a love for the police and that people cooperate with the cops all the time. They don't. So even if it was during the day, I still don't believe the neighbors saying they didn't hear anything, because it's the cops. Like, they're not. It's the cops. Just like with fucking Mike Brown. Mike Brown's best friend said that he put his hands up and said, "Don't shoot," and they killed him. But that wasn't true. What's up, Mac?
What's up?
What's your view on this?
Your mic's not connected.
You're muted now.
What's up, Chad? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Mac?
Ain't nothing, man. Ain't nothing. Quick thing about the black neighborhoods that you say they don't like the police. I'm from the Bronx. Yes, I'm from the Bronx, New York, and that's untrue. There's plenty of black people. There's plenty of black people. Yeah, go ahead.
I live in Cleveland, in a black neighborhood, and we cannot be disingenuous and say that it's not a no snitching policy in black neighborhoods. You can't tell me that it's.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
You can't, but you can't like the police and not snitch. You can't have both. You can't say a group of people like the police and then you have Black Lives Matter that are about police brutality and defunding the police and saying that they're hunting you down. Like, you can't have both narratives.
No. So, like, what I'm trying to say is that the younger folks, which is around maybe like teenage years to maybe like mid 40s, growing up in the Bronx, the older people always call the cops. If there was like, if we were smoking weed in the staircase, whatever, they'll be the first one to call the cops. That's what I mean. I'm not saying that that's the majority. No, you're right on that one.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, even if you have good people that live in the neighborhoods, they're still going to be afraid by the criminals. Like, there are people that still live in fear in these neighborhoods about saying anything and being targeted. So the fact that I'm making is, just because the neighbor didn't hear the police, I don't find that to be credible. Just like if the drug dealer who got shot and lived, if he said, well, they kicked in the door and I thought I was being robbed, so I shot at them, I'm less likely to believe him because he's the criminal. And even though I do know that the police do fucked up shit, I'm not going to say they don't. But at the end of the day, the cops are going to get a bad rap either way.
Very true.
And the criminal is going to always try to get out of it. So the only person that I really can see that I can give a shadow of a doubt to is the cops. Unless there's evidence that proves that they did otherwise, I'm going to have to go out on a limb and give them the benefit of the doubt, because I can't give the dude that shot at the cops necessarily the benefit of the doubt. I can't give the dude that had the indictment selling drugs the benefit of the doubt. I can't give the dude that had Tripp the benefit of the doubt. I can't give the neighbors in the community the benefit of the doubt, because if I'm friends with my neighbor, they're gonna lie for me. They're gonna, like, your friends are more likely to give, like, your neighbors are more likely to give you the benefit of the doubt, or your friends to give you the benefit of the doubt. And the criminal's always going to give themselves the benefit of the doubt. And the cops are always under scrutiny. Always under
Here's my
scrutiny.
question with that. How did they, how, if he got arrested immediately, how did he get his story straight with the neighbors? Oh, tell them you didn't hear anything. So I'm going to say I didn't hear anything and I shot in self-defense. I mean, how did they all get the same story?
Just
Because them saying they didn't hear anything goes back to the idea that I don't want no fucking trouble cooperating with the police. It doesn't mean that there was a big conspiracy, but okay, question. Do you think they know who shot Duck? Do you think they know who killed Duck? Do you think they know who the shooter was?
That's different. You're asking them, do you know who the shooter is?
Yeah,
They're asking, do you hear police?
Can I address the shooting though? Let's address the Kentucky one. For that one, did the police? I think the police report said that the neighbors heard it, so that's in the cops' favor.
Yeah, I don't know in the police report if they heard it, but Jordan said that someone was saying that they didn't hear it. But at the end of the day,
Tatum, they said they didn't hear it.
I heard that they did hear it, so that's in the cops' favor because the girl. I even heard the girl had a gun on her, which was another thing. That's like the Corinne Gaines case, which they kind of swept under the rug in Baltimore, where I'm at now. I live near Baltimore. They swept that under the rug because she had a shotgun on her.
Yeah, and she was also saying like using her kid as a shield and saying that they were here to kill her and shit. But this is what I'm saying. I've had the cops say that I confessed to a crime that I didn't commit.
They're even suing them, apparently. The neighbors, they're suing the police.
That's rich.
It says they're suing them because they blindly fired.
Who?
They're Brianna Taylor's neighbors. They're suing the police and they're claiming they blindly fired. And I guess they're gonna claim they could have been in danger or something.
Yeah, but again, they were returning fire. What, like, of course, because listen, those people are just trying to get money. That's just all it is.
Yeah. Apparently, somebody else's apartment got shot, and it said it almost shot somebody else, almost shot one of the neighbors.
Yeah, but again, if he shot and if he or Bree shot, you don't like. The people are just pissed they're shooting, and they're not going to sue the drug dealer. They're not going to sue Brianna. They're going to sue the cops. Like, that's what I'm saying. When it comes down to it, I have to give benefit to the cops because no matter what happens, they end up getting the short end of the stick. Just like with Floyd, had that cop never put his knee on Floyd's neck and Floyd died of drugs, there would still be a lawsuit for his death. They would still say the police did malfeasance. Like, that's the one thing about the police. You can always try to sue the police and get money.
You think they would got sued if he just laid down and died? I mean, I think the whole problem was because of the knee.
Yes, but what I'm telling you is, even if there was no knee and he died in police custody, there would still be a lawsuit. Look at Freddie Gray. There is no video of those cops beating the fuck out of him. And there was 3 black cops and 3 white cops that arrested him. And they still tried to say that they murdered him for no reason. And they still tried to sue the city. And they still made the same narrative that it was white racism that killed him. But there was 3 black cops that were there. Look at the black chick that got pulled over and hung herself in jail. They tried to say that the cops went in there and killed her.
Yeah, what's crazy about that story is that her family could have bailed her out. They chose not to, but they reaped in the benefits of the family suing on her behalf and getting money from it, which is crazy.
Yeah, like that's what you have to understand. Like, a lot of these lawsuits are opportunity. Like that, like just because someone sues someone doesn't give them guilt. It doesn't.
at all. But let me give my thoughts on this case with the woman here in Virginia. It's just wild what happened. I wrote in the comment section that just because she said that they're married does not mean they're married. You know, coming from the community I come from, like there's about a 30% black men that are married. I think it's even less on the other side for the females. So for that to happen, and for it to last as well too, when it's 81% of black women that initiate divorce, I really find that hard to believe that this is the case that they were married. Now, people in the comment section, yeah.
I'm not gonna say that you're incorrect, and I don't have a dog in the fight if she was married or not married. But the point that I'm gonna say is, she said, "This is what happens when you leave your wife." So, out of all the evidence that we have, we only can go off of what we do know, and we do know that she made that statement. So, he wasn't a random guy, and he didn't want to be with her.
Correct. And that's the crazy part about that too, is that they're charging her with the domestic dispute. People in the comment section are saying that's what he deserves for supposedly cheating, which we don't know is true or not. We don't know. We just had a case a couple of weeks ago, which is more of a famous man, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. And Will Smith didn't go off Jada Pinkett's head with a car to run her over either, just because they were mad, And people were coming at Will Smith, even though he did nothing in that situation, which is highly disturbing of where we at in society today.
You want to know the most messed up part about that whole scenario?
Yes, sir.
Jada was a psychologist, I think. She was a psychologist, and she was helping August out. August came to her to talk. Huh?
Not so she's not even licensed. She's not. That's like Dr. Phil. She's not licensed. She's just an actress.
Well,
he came to her for advice. I think his parents died he was going through something. That's what I heard. He was going through something. He came to her for advice, and basically while he was vulnerable, she slept with him and just threw him aside. I'm just like, yo, if that was gender's reverse, a man doing that to a woman, yo, he would have been, if that was Will Smith doing that to some younger female rapper, yo, Will Smith would have been canceled. No more movies, nothing. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would have been taken off of TV. But because it was Jada, we ignore it.
No, I agree with you. But also, like, what I was like, even if they were together for 18 years, they probably fall under common law marriage. So even still, they would still be married.
Correct.
This is the point that I'm trying to make. People are trying to say that he cheated because they're trying to justify what the woman did, and there's no way to justify that, because there's none. There's no way to justify it. And there's, like, in the black community, there's a lot of them trying to shift the blame from the people that are doing the fuck shit. And there's also this idea of making everyone saints after they die. Like, that's common. And the reason that I brought up Duck, and I brought up the idea with the snitching and all that stuff in the neighborhood, was because Duck rapped about being a gangbanger.
Mm-hmm.
He had videos about being a gangbanger. Mm-hmm. He has pictures of him throwing gang signs. Mm-hmm. He has videos talking about smoking his dead ops, talking about pissing on their graves. And then he gets killed and has a gun on him from two videos. He did 2 videos with that gun, and he died.
Duck is a Chicago rapper?
Yes, and he had that gun in his hand, which is a crime. You can't just have a pistol in Chicago like that. They have strict gun laws. And he had a gun. They shot him. His gun was jammed. He didn't get to fire back. And then everyone that did the the news broadcast said that he was an entertainer. He wasn't a gangbanger. He wasn't hurt nobody. He was an artist. You had all these people. There were people that weren't even close to him. There was a guy that kept quoting, saying his name. If you watch Tommy Sotomayor's show, the dude kept saying his name and was saying the wrong name. So with that being said, there is an idea with people trying to rewrite the history of the people that die or the people that are come in contact with the police. So I don't believe the neighbors. If the neighbors said they didn't hear anything, I don't really care what they say because that doesn't matter to me. That it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think me and you on this. I think me and you are the same page on that one. I think with Fbg Duck and those situations, this is what my partial opinion is. Like with the thugs, the certain characters of nefarious behavior, they tend to get a pass versus guys who are not into that lifestyle. You know, guys like Herman Cain, for example. Herman Cain was ridiculed when he died. They said he should have never been out there without a mask, saying he deserved to die on Twitter. Versus this guy getting a whole bunch of love. And you probably watched Tommy Sotomayor show, Mr. Savage. You saw when the mother's porn came out, all this stuff that came out. And I'm on to believe that the mother has something to do with it because maybe the boy was trying to get out the neighborhood. Because they have an interview where he said he's stuck there, he can't go out there, he's looking out for his homies, whatever. And next thing you know, he's killed on the so-called Rodeo Drive in Chicago. So to me, the mother has sex with a guy who was obviously his opposition to what they call the ops, right?
Yep.
And he's trying to get out that neighborhood. And that's her meal ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And right before that, he said I think the mother said he was signed to Rap-A-Lot Records like 6 days ago. So it's
crazy. He got signed to Sony before that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He got signed to Sony on that Slide album.
Correct.
Slide track that he did. But like that's what I'm trying, like that was the whole point that I was trying to say is like I don't believe the I don't believe anyone other than the police report unless there's evidence that shows otherwise. Like I don't believe the just hearsay bullshit because there's always people that are trying to give the people in the situations a free pass.
Correct.
Like I can show you a video right now of Tommy even did this video of a woman's brother being shot trying to rob a store and her saying, I don't care if he was trying to rob the store. They still shouldn't have shot him.
That was in Florida. That was in Florida.
Oh, Florida. Yo, all right, that's not fair. Florida's just that place is just crazy.
Yeah, it's all over the United States. Unless you're in Wyoming or Idaho, it's all over. It changes wherever you're at, but it's the same old shit.
Well, there's the other video of that chick that guy jumped that fence and was robbing that lady, and the lady shot him, and then like the mom or the sister was like, well, you know, he was just trying, she shouldn't have shot him. He was just trying to get fresh. He was just trying to get fresh for school. Like, there is a commonality with these crimes where people end up trying to say that, like, it, you know, you shouldn't kill my son when he's got a gun and he's robbing you, or my brother when he's robbing you, or, you know, when you're 60 years old and he breaks in your house, you shouldn't kill him. You know, like, so I don't believe, like, I just don't believe I don't believe that shit. I don't believe it.
I mean, they're still going to use the neighbor's witness testimony in court. Like the family, they don't trust family testimony, but if it's neighbors, they're gonna use it in court.
Hey, Savage, I wanted to push back on you just a minute. You tend to defer to the police, and I mean, we've all seen plenty of stories about the police doing some pretty shady shit. I mean, all the way up to murder. My ex's father had been a cop for 28 years, and I knew him just after he retired. And one of the things that he told me in several different like incidents was he was a good dude, real quiet, real mild mannered, not militant at all. Liked to read a lot. And he told me about several incidents where all the cops in Hot Springs carried briefcases in the backs of their cars. They all had guns that weren't traceable, and they were all wiped down, sterilized, all that kind of stuff. They all had knives, and they all had gloves, and they all had little bits of drugs, so that when they got themselves into a bad position or wanted to hem somebody up, they could plant this shit on them. And I would have never thought that of him. I mean, I knew the guy for 3 years. I would have never thought that he would have been capable of something like that. And he was open about it. He told me about them all carrying these briefcases in the back of their cars. And he retired in probably 2012, somewhere around in there. So, I mean, I know people want to think that the government and the authority and the establishment and that they're there to protect us and back to blue, but dude, they're crooked as fuck. I mean, you can believe them if you want to, but I'm skeptical, if not downright cynical, anytime something a little bit out of place happens.
Yeah, but this is the issue, though. This is the issue. I don't disagree with you when it comes to there aren't cops that do shady shit. But if you're not going to trust the cops, you're going to trust the criminals?
You don't have to trust criminals. You don't have to trust people. If somebody's in an authority position and you know that these people have a history of doing illegal shit, murder, planting drugs, lying on reports constantly. I mean, you're not in a position where you have to trust a stranger. You are in a position where you have to trust the authorities, the fucking cops. Like you.
Why do you have to favor one side in the first place?
Well, you have to favor a side because how many times have we seen this shit with Black Lives Matter being pushed out about all these cases, and then the narrative that Black Lives Matter is pushing for their benefit to gain money and power is not even anywhere near accurate.
Yeah, and if people didn't favor Black Lives Matter just because they were black and they looked at cases objectively, there'll be a lot less protests and a lot less like hate.
Well, when you talk about Black Lives Matter, it's two different things. I mean, I'm sure you guys are aware of this. The statement Black Lives Matter, well, of course they do. They're fucking human. But BLM is a completely different thing. The Marxism, the kind of tearing down of norms and social structures and the family and the political movement and the far leftists, the socialism, reparations, that's a completely different topic. But you guys are right. I think white people tend to want to believe that the cops are good and back to blue and all this kind of stuff. And for the large majority of the black population, they have a completely different view of it. They come into contact with the police and see the shady shit they do, how they fucking lie all the time. And, I'm white, but I've seen it. I've heard it. I've witnessed it. My cousin was killed by the police. Completely peaceful guy. Bro. No criminal record. I mean,
listen, like my uncle got the shit beat out of him by the police. Like I've had my ass beat by the police. I've had the police also put evidence, like manufacture evidence on me. Like I'm not unaware.
Then why would you defer to them?
Okay, so fun fact. Do you know when the police beat my ass?
Mm-mm.
When I was running my motherfucking mouth. Okay, do you know when the police manufactured evidence? When I was part of a crime that they couldn't get me on. Do you know how many times I've had trouble with the police since I've been sober and have not committed a crime?
Probably zero.
Do you know how many times I've been pulled over in 5 years? And now, before you answer, I've only had my license back since 2012. So I was driving with no license with just privileges for 2 years on probation for tampering with evidence and aggravated trafficking case on my record with multiple driving under suspensions, with multiple drug offenses. If you run my background, I was in a car one time that my buddy, he didn't have a seatbelt on. He was driving and they pulled him over It took them an hour to get my record back. They ran his shit in like 10, 15 minutes. They held us for 1 hour while my information came back. That's how extensive my record is. And with all that being said, I don't get pulled over by the police when I'm driving a car with a car registered in my name because I don't speed. I don't break the law. I don't do anything to have interactions with the police. I just don't.
Mm-hmm. So when you said that you're running your mouth, is running your mouth against the law?
No.
Okay. So they didn't have enough evidence to get you on the crime that you actually committed. So that's part of the law system, right? Okay. So they couldn't gather enough evidence. So then they planted it. So they beat you up because you were running your mouth. Listen, hold on.
They didn't plant evidence.
You said they manufactured it.
They said that I had confessed to a crime.
Okay, so they manufactured it. It's still illegal. So you have law enforcement who you're supposed to trust to uphold the law, uphold the Constitution, and they beat you up and they broke the law because you were running your mouth. And then they lied and manufactured evidence. And yet you still defer to them. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, the whooping my ass and manufacturing the evidence was two different times, two different
situations. Yeah, that's why I listed them separately.
But again, listen. If I got what I deserved, then I would have got that case that they couldn't get me for. And I would have done
what's the point in having a law if you don't operate under the confines of it?
Listen. Yeah, but then I wasn't operating under the confines of the law either.
I'm talking them. I'm not talking about you.
Listen, but I wasn't operating under the law. So I can't get mad if they break the law if I'm breaking the law. I can't get mad about it. I can't be cheating on my wife for 10 years and get mad that she fucked one dude. Like you got to pick your battle. The fact that
here's the thing too. I'm sorry, fellas. Here's the thing too, Blake. You got to realize this. You're both right, but here's the thing too that we never count into. Police have a lot of stress dealing with those neighborhoods. You go to work in like NYC Manhattan, it's a different ball game than coming to Flatbush, Brooklyn, Soundview in the Bronx, Cleveland, Ohio, where my man Savage Recovery's at. Plus the pay over there too as well is crazy. The cops in New York get about, I think right now it's about $35,000 to $38,000 per year, where the average rent in New York City is about $2,000. So they have to work overtime, be away from your family most of the time. And I'm not defending the cops here. We're just talking about this specific case in its own entirety that he's talking about. Do cops do wrong? We're agreeing with you. But in this specific case, there's no way that cops is entering a building, apartment building, and as quick as you can see it in the wire, people know when the cops are coming. Especially at that time when they're coming in to bang in somebody's door and serve a warrant. They're not just coming in like ninjas at night. So I'm with Savage Recovery on this one.
And this is the other thing that I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, like this, okay, so as a criminal, I never had an issue with the police because in my mind, this is the way this works. It's my job to not get caught. It's your job to catch me. When you catch me, I give up. I'm not going to resist you. I'm not going to try to get away. My job is to not get caught. When you catch me, you won. You won. This is the cat and mouse. You won. I'm not going to try to fight it. When you can't get me on a case and you end up knowing that I'm on probation and you say I confessed to a crime, instead of me doing the maximum amount of time that I really should have been doing, the fact that if let's say hypothetically, I was looking at least 10 years, okay, at least, and you said that I committed a crime that had a maximum of 3 years, that's what you call a win. Because I could be doing 10 years. I could be doing more than that. If I'm only doing 3, that's like this lady shooting this man in the face and getting 9.5 years of probation. Like, right? She's guilty, but she's not mad about the 9.5 years of probation, right? Is she going to call them and tell them that's unfair, that they need to follow the full extent of the law? They need to make sure that she they prosecute her to the fullest extent, or is she going to appeal her 9.5 year probation?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, if you know you committed a crime, and then even though the cops lie, but you got a lesser sentence, even though they committed a crime, you're not gonna be mad at it. The thing that I'm kind of wondering, what happened with that whole scenario where you mouthed off to a cop and then they beat your ass? Like, did you do something?
I was just being young and dumb and, running my mouth. I was talking a lot of shit, and I got humbled. Like, it's just like if you talk shit to your dad and your dad whoops your ass. Like,
You think that's fine? Like, you talk shit to a cop and then he just fucks you up?
listen,
Not
I
he,
honestly,
probably a group of them.
listen, I'm going to put it to you like this. I honestly feel that more people, I feel that the crimes when it comes to fighting needs to be way, way less strict. I think if you run your motherfucking mouth and a dude decides to beat the living piss out of you, as long as he doesn't try to kill you, I don't think he should be brought up charges. I think there's a lot of people running their mouth and a lot of softening of society that people need their ass beat. And from me running my mouth to the cops and them fucking me up, they didn't break my arms, they didn't break my legs, they didn't put me in the hospital in traction for 6 months. They just beat the fuck out of me, and they made me understand that I shouldn't do that. So I learned a lesson, and I never had to take them lumps again. Like, that's what a man does. Like, you learn a lesson and then you forget about it and you move on. Like, this idea that cops are going to get shot at, stabbed, their cars are going to be caught on fire, they're going to be hit with bricks and bottles, and oh dear God, they fucking pepper sprayed the wrong person. We need to fucking get these motherfuckers arrested and sued. Like, that's bullshit. Like, we need to cut people breaks is what we need to do. Like, we need to cut people breaks. If you're going to want to be held to a certain standard, then you need to hold yourself at a certain standard. And that isn't going on these days. I ran my mouth. The cops roughed me up. We're even. Like,
Did you fight back?
I was handcuffed. Like, I wasn't gonna.
They
There wasn't a whole lot I was
handcuffed
gonna
you
do.
and they beat you up. What the? And
Dude, I don't know how you can. Even if you weren't handcuffed and you fought back, you might have died. Like,
No,
I don't know. That's sick,
No,
dude. I don't get it.
because it wasn't.
Cops aren't
Because
normal people. Cops aren't a guy that you meet on the street.
But it wasn't. Listen, it wasn't about, like, they were teaching me a lesson. Like, I didn't threaten to kill his family or anything. Like, I was talking mad shit, and I got hit. I got beat up a little bit. I got a little roughed up. Like, I got a very sore ride to the jail, and that was it. And then I learned from the lesson. There's no reason for me to go try to press charges or do a write-up or any of that bullshit, because had I not been committing a crime, had I not been running my mouth, I wouldn't have got my ass kicked. Just like you're not going to, like Tommy says this all the time, if you walk up to a big dude and start running your mouth to him and he turns around and lays you the fuck out, nobody's going to say, oh, well, he's bigger than you. You shouldn't have ran your mouth. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have touched him. That's unfair. That's not right. No one's going to do that. I shouldn't have been running my mouth. Simply put, it's that simple. If you don't want to do time and you don't want the cops to have the ability to do fuck shit to you, don't do fuck shit. Like,
it's okay when they do fuck shit.
Are you doing fuck shit? Are you doing fuck shit?
What does it matter? They're law enforcement officers. They have an oath. They're supposed to operate within the confines of the law.
You also have an oath.
That's true.
You also have an oath to the Constitution to not break the law as an American citizen, but you still do.
We don't take an oath.
Did you ever do the Pledge of Allegiance? Did you ever take the
Pledge of Allegiance has nothing to do with Constitution.
But as a civilian, you do.
Of course, and if you break the law, then there are penalties.
Correct.
Where does it say if you talk too much shit, you get the shit beat out of you, or you can abide manufacturing evidence? That doesn't make any sense.
But if I wasn't committing a crime, it wouldn't be an issue. Like, that's what you don't understand. If cops are just rolling around kicking people's doors in and killing them, yeah, that's a problem. If you're just killing 6-year-old grandma for no reason, then I have a problem with that. But when you're a dope fiend or you're a junkie stealing, robbing, or you're a criminal doing criminal shit and shit doesn't go necessarily the right way for you, I don't feel that bad because I was there myself. Like,
Here's the thing with police. Why is the line set at death? Why is it cops are good people because only this amount of people die a year? Why is it not, well, cops also do this, cops do corruption, cops do other stuff? Why is the line at death?
Well, here's the thing, though. Cops do corruption. We're not disagreeing with that. But there's plenty of times where cops saved a woman from getting her ass beat from her man. There's plenty of times where cops have saved kids from doing wrong things in life. We focus too much on the bad stuff of cops, and I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. There's some bad cops out here, but we're always ignoring the cops that are good. I have an uncle that was a retired cop. You know, he's not bad. There's plenty of cops that are not bad, and because they don't have a chance to speak up. We never hear their side of the story.
Yeah, you got police officers that fucking have to go and see, like, pick up the bodies of dead kids. They have to go investigate the death of children. They have to go and do the investigation of sex crimes on children. They have to listen to the testimony of women being raped. There's a lot of fuck shit that goes on in their job, and they don't get paid that much money. And my uncle's a sheriff. My uncle is a sheriff for the sex crime unit in Portage County, and I never got any special treatment for him being my uncle. There was never a time where they were like, "Oh, you're, Danny's son. We're just gonna go home." Like, that never was a thing.
Hey, like, Savage, can I? I don't mean to interrupt. Can I ask Blake a question? Mr. Blake, what do you believe about this Brianna Taylor case?
I just know the name. I don't even have cable anymore, so after a while, you just kind of get inundated with all these stories. From what you guys were talking about, it sounds like some of you guys are even a little bit unclear about the details. She was in another apartment and she got shot. Is that right?
She was in her apartment.
She was in her apartment?
She was in her apartment, and her boyfriend, her and her boyfriend pulled guns and shot the cops, and the cops ended up shooting back. She died, but they were really, like, her boyfriend lived. And the people are trying to paint her as being a paramedic and a good stand citizen and all this stuff. But she was doing the fuck shit too. And she was fired from being a paramedic in 2017. She wasn't a paramedic. She was getting packages of drugs shipped to her house. Her boyfriend had a trap. Like, they're trying to say that because of the no-knock warrant that he didn't know it was the police. But the fact of the matter is the cops announced themselves. That's why they got their guns and shot at the police. They did a no-knock warrant at the other house at the trap, and no one got shot. They're trying to use this case and paint a false narrative to cripple the cops, because what's going on right now is they're trying to weaken the infrastructure of the police department because they want more chaos to happen. If you don't believe me, then why have they been letting all these fucking violent criminals out of jail because of COVID? They're letting criminals out of jail for COVID, but arresting people that want to open their business.
There's a whole lot about that story, I'm sure, that I'm still unclear about. But I'll say this. I mean, a lot of it obviously depends on whether the cops actually did introduce themselves or not. Now, the difficult thing about that is okay, so they're coming in the middle of the night. Generally, people are sleeping. So even if you do knock, I mean, again, they can say they knocked, and the people can be in the far back bedroom and still not hear it. They can knock real softly so that they can enter with the element of surprise. They can say all sorts of stuff. Now, if there was fire returned, I mean, that's just kind of, I guess, the price that you pay for dealing with drug dealers, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but what you have to understand is they had a no-knock warrant. They didn't have to knock the door, or they didn't have to knock on the door. They could have just kicked it in, but they chose to knock.
Yeah, that's what the argument is, because Kyle, you're kind of saying they definitely knocked because the police wrote it down. But what I'm saying is we don't know. Just kind of same thing with Ahmaud Arbery and all these other stuff. We don't know. We don't know they heard it. And his defense is that they didn't know.
What don't you know about Aubrey? What is it that you don't know?
We don't know if well, not now, because now we have more information. I'm saying initially when everybody got upset, the first thing we said is we don't know. So what I'm trying to say, when we just saw the video, we had no information. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just using that as an example. So I'm saying we can't prove that they know, and we can't prove that.
I don't care if they know or not. These are facts. Regardless if the police knocked or didn't knock, they had the ability to enter the house, knocking or not knocking. Correct? That is correct, right?
Not the argument. That's correct. That's not the argument.
Okay. So they had the ability to do so. All right. The people are upset that Bree got shot. Okay. So regardless of the facts, they had the ability to be there. They were not breaking the law. They had the ability to enter the door with a knock, and they had the ability to enter the door without a knock. When they got shot at, did they not have the ability to shoot back?
Yeah.
So then what is the issue?
The argument is that the person didn't know that the cops came. That's what he says. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. He could have been lying. The neighbors could have been lying. I agree with you there. I'm saying the cops could have been lying. So the issue is whether or not the police announced themselves and whether or not he was justified in claiming that it was self-defense.
But guess what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they didn't have to announce themselves. And at the end of the day, even if they didn't, he still shot at them. And even though he didn't die, let's just not even charge him with attempted murder on the police. He's still going to prison for the warrant. Like it doesn't matter either way. Like people get too caught up in stupid little bullshit. Like it doesn't matter. He's still going to prison. Like him shooting at the cops and knowing or not knowing doesn't stop him from going to prison. He's going there regardless.
Nobody's talking about him. They're talking about Brianna.
It doesn't matter. She was still going to end up going to prison.
Hey, I wanted to interject here something. Mac, earlier you said that police officers in New York make $35,000 or $38,000. I can't remember what you said. A police officer in New York City starts out at $44,000 and maxes out at $111,000. A detective starts out at $70,000, maxes out at $166,000. This is a pay scale.
Is that New York City or Long Island? Because I live in New York City. The cops in New York City get paid less, but in Long Island they get paid more. So I don't.
This says New York Police Department, NYPD. It says its employees. That doesn't make any sense. An average of $74,532 a year. Salaries at New York Police Department range from an average of $39,686 for safety officers. It looks like to $140,290 a year. Okay. I guess that's for the detectives.
Okay, no problem. No problem. My mistake then. My apologies on that one.
And you also mentioned that they have a stressful job. I really hate that excuse because they know what they're signing up for. It's not as if, they don't sign up for the union and the pension and the legal protection and retirement after 25 years and all that shit. Like I think the benefits, the health insurance, I think that's horseshit to say, well, it's stressful, as if that excuses anything that they fucking do. I mean,
no, but here's the thing, brother.
Being a mom is stressful. Being a dad stressful. Does that mean you can hit the fuck out of your kids? I mean,
no. But here's the thing. Can I respond to that? Here's the thing, Blake. I'm no problem with what you're saying, but you sign up to be a mom and a dad, so that doesn't.
Do you not sign up to be a police officer?
No, I'm with you on that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is stressful is not to take away from what they're doing. Just like I said earlier, there's good cops out here. Even with it being stressful, the cops are doing a good job out here. So not all cops, but there's certain cops that are.
Then what do you bring it up for if it's not an excuse?
I never said it was an excuse. You took it that way.
What did you bring it up for?
What did I bring it up for?
We were talking about bad behavior on the part of cops, and you said, Well, yeah, but it's a stressful job. And okay, so then why do you bring it
No,
up?
well, let me explain. I said it's a stressful job because of the pay and that you're away from your family most of the time. Most cops even make their ends meet have to work extended amount of job, more absorbent amount of hours, just as much as if you're a security guard working. Let's just say you're working at a 12, 16-hour job. You're going to be away from your family most of the time, so it's going to stress you out. You know what I'm saying? Plus that element that's there. I don't know where you from, sir, Mr. Blake. Where you from?
I'm from Iowa. I live in Arkansas right now.
All right, no problem. All right, you're from Iowa, from Arkansas. I live in the inner city. It's stressful enough just for me living out there. So I can imagine when I'm just being a cop over there, what it's like. It's like the military. If you go over there, there's something called PTSD, correct?
Yeah.
And that's as stressful as it can get. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that's the reality of it. You know, that doesn't excuse their bad behavior. And that's what I said. There's cops that have bad behavior, but there's cops out there that are out there doing what they have to do, making sure that citizens are safe.
Not just that, but you also have to think it's very thankless. It's a very thankless job, and on top of it, there is a whole thing about the fight or flight. If you get that adrenaline dump, you do have tunnel vision, and you focus in on stuff, and you don't really remember stuff. If you see police shootings, you can watch a video and then see the cop that did the shooting, and they'll be telling the cop above them when they take their gun, and they'll be saying stuff, and it'll be incorrect. Like there are actual things that it's a scientific fact that when you're in a fight or flight, you don't absorb all the information that's going on around you. You focus. Tunnel vision is a real thing.
So I agree with both of you with we don't take into account the stress of the job, and I also agree with Blake with how it's not an excuse. Because the people, like, why is it a one way or the other thing? Why is it there's all good cops and all bad cops? There's on one end, I will say cops are trained, so we shouldn't be excusing that it's a stressful job or whatever. So they should have leniency when it comes to the law. But on the other end, I do understand that a cop is a dangerous job. So if you're a suspect and you start moving your hands like crazy, the cop's life is going to feel threatened. So he is going to act in that way.
But this is the issue. You're like any way that you try to cut out all the errors for a cop, you're making the job more dangerous. Being a cop, when it comes to what they can and can't do, it's not an easy cut thing. Like the way that the job works in practicality, it isn't one way or the other. There's a lot of gray area. It's just a fact.
Hey, so here local, there was a guy that stole a bunch of Xanax and some cocaine from the evidence room. It came up missing, and he was the last guy that was in there. He just quit. They didn't prosecute him. They didn't do anything. Now, I don't know if the other officers knew about it or not, but they chose not to do anything to him. They chose not to. He just quit. And I'm sure he's working for somebody else right now. My cousin is a sergeant in Muscatine, Iowa. Kind of a bad city, but when he first started working there, the police chief's son was dealing drugs and acting the fool all throughout the community. Everybody knew it. They weren't supposed to pull him over. Then he took his father's service weapon and shot up somebody else's house. They still didn't do anything to the kid. Yes, they acted like they didn't know who the hell did it, even though they found the police chief's weapon there on scene. And these two guys had a beef, and they didn't even investigate him. Now, my cousin and all the police officers there went along with all this shit the whole time. None of them quit. He wanted to, but he never quit. Why? Because he was protecting his ass and his money and his life. Well, life in a literal sense. But you say there's not bad cops, but if they overlook this kind of stuff and they go along with it, are they not bad cops too?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about here? Just a lesser circle of hell or something? I mean, what?
Yeah, but you can't what you're failing to realize is you're trying to apply You're trying to apply a level to cops that you're not applying to normal people.
Because they're not normal people.
But they are normal people.
No, they're not.
Yes,
Why
they are.
should cops be treated as normal people if they get privileges that normal people don't get? They're trained. They're trained. They should be held to a higher standard.
They have
I'm
qualified immunity. They have
I'm
unions. They have the use of force.
Yeah, so do you. You can use force.
Am I going to get preferential treatment from judges and district attorneys? And do I have unions and their legal counsel backing me? Do I have the public on my side? No.
If someone comes in your house and you kill somebody, like you're gonna have all those things.
Yeah, sure.
You can't do that on the street, but a cop can. That's kind of my point. They have more rights.
Okay, so then get rid of cops.
I'm not saying get rid of cops. Kyle, that's not. You're taking it to an extreme.
But you can't have both. You can't have both.
You're taking it to the extreme. I'm not. You're saying either no regulation or no cops.
No, that's not what I said. I said that whenever you regulate the cops, like obviously the cop shooting up a fucking house, he should have been arrested. There is no justification for that bullshit. But at the same time, when you start putting laws on cops of what force they can use, when, if they can use this or they can't use that, you are directly affecting their safety in the field. And we all know police get killed. That happens. They get attacked. You can't say that it doesn't happen. So it's not, when it comes to the policies you want them to protect, to follow, it's not clear cut, because it's not like when you work on a job and they say, okay, well, you can't do a job standing on a 24-foot ladder by yourself anymore. So now you can only stand on a 22-foot ladder, but you can't be on the top rung and you need another person. Like, you can get around that. But if you say, well, you can't use non-lethal weapons on people, then you're making them use deadly force. Like, it's not as simple cut as you want it to be put. It's not a normal job.
Savage, can we try something?
What?
We obviously, conversations rarely get to this point, and they kind of never even get past this point. But from all you guys, like, what do you think would improve the relationship between citizens and police departments in this country? And you know, the floor is as open as your mind is. Like, I mean, what do you think would serve our citizens well and the police officers well?
Well, what we should do, we should take all the money that we should take all the money that we get from the police departments, and we should reinvest it in the communities and to the citizens, and we should completely rid of police officers, and we should get rid of all guns. All right. And then what we should also do is we should take all the locks off our doors, because society is great.
All right,
I was being serious. I was actually being serious.
I feel like all right, now go ahead, Mac.
No, that's you, man. My bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, but on a serious note, I've seen the best way is to improve the relationship between the communities and the police. So I've been saying this for a while, in schools, like, make it mandatory where kids had to go through a program about how to conduct themselves around the police. Like, when you have kids screaming at the police and stuff, that stuff should not happen. The cops should know the kids by name, and then the kids will know the police officers, so they're less likely to do stuff like that.
No, that's impossible. You can't do that.
Have cops teach a class?
No, you can't. You can't do that.
Why?
Because it makes it a prison. You're gonna scare the kids, because police are the aggressors. You just have to get rid of them. You have to get rid of them, and then no one will commit crimes anymore. And then we can just take that money and we can invest it into other stuff. Like, we could just make all the poor kids have all the money from the police departments and invest them in going to college, and they can all be doctors, and society will be fucking awesome. They'll cure cancer.
Come on, Kyle. Nobody's saying defund the police. Come on. Mac, what do you want to say?
You got to change the culture, man, and that's impossible to do. To change the whole culture would have to be like an impossible feat, because I always said this: The people have a problem with the police in inner cities. Why don't they sign up to be police?
Mm-hmm.
That could clear up a lot of unemployment numbers right then and there. And you have people who are from that neighborhood who know about that neighborhood that can police it. But guess what? They will quit within the day.
So you know what we need to do? This is what we really need to do. We should just have no police. We should get rid of police. We should take all the money that goes to the police and give it to welfare and give it to parks and school programs. And we need to make it illegal to break crime, to break the law. Like, make a law that says it's illegal to break the law, and then society will be fucking awesome.
Okay.
Right?
All right. I've got some unique ones here. Okay. So laws don't actually prevent people from breaking laws. Can we agree on that?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
So because we can agree on that, I would say this. Some of the most dangerous situations that policemen find themselves in is typical traffic stops, expired registration, seat belts, shit like that. Not only, not necessarily from violence, but also on the road, on the side of the road, the interstate, the highway, whatever it may be. To me, registration is fucking stupid. All it does is piss people off, and it puts the cops in a bad position. Either get rid of it or make it so that it's not an extraordinary penalty where you can maybe get your car towed, you get a ticket, you have to pay late fees, you get all this shit. Get rid of registration. Seatbelt tickets. Get rid of seatbelt tickets too. All that does is piss people off. That just increases the amount of time that police have to interact with people that don't want to be fucking pulled over. That's another thing.
How about we just get rid of traffic crimes? Cops.
You could. You could.
If you're in a car, a cop can't stop you. He can't pull you over. He can't talk to you as long as you're in a car. So if a cop goes to arrest you and you run to your car, he can't fuck with you. It's like when you're a kid and you play lava, the floor's lava, and you're on the couch, so you're good. Guess what? The car is your couch. So as long as you can make it to the couch, you're good.
So I'm actually being serious here, Savage. And what issue do you have with getting rid of registration and seatbelt tickets?
I don't personally care if there's seatbelt tickets or any of that shit, but this is what I'm trying to get to. Cops are a necessary evil. All right. And it doesn't matter what you do to the police. It doesn't matter if you don't have parents that teach their kids how to behave and how to act and how to be decent human beings. You're going to be fucked. That's the straight issue.
Why are they necessary evil? And what does that have to do with seatbelt and registration tickets? I'm putting out things. I'm saying things.
No, because I don't you're right. People don't want to get seatbelt tickets, and it is the most dangerous part for a cop. But it wouldn't be the most dangerous part for a cop if you had good parents that taught their kids how to behave and how to act in life.
What about mentally ill people?
How are you going to make that happen?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's not going to happen. So you're either going to give criminals, okay, for example, if we were just get rid of traffic stops for cops, okay, well, what's going to happen is you're going to have some dickhead that kills a hooker and puts her in his car and drives through 6 states, and people are going to be like, well, why was he able to go from every state killing hookers and driving across the county lines, and they couldn't stop him and they couldn't find him? And well, you can't stop people in traffic stops because there's no more traffic.
Dude, I get where you're coming from, but this is not productive. All I said was registration and seatbelt tickets. That's all I said.
No,
that's all I said.
But what I'm telling you is even if you get rid of seatbelt tickets and you get registration, they're still going to have to deal with accidents. They're going to still do running stop signs. A lot of those traffic stops are preventative crimes. They prevent bigger crimes. Like, a lot of the times when they pull people over, they find guns and drugs. And those people that have guns and drugs are more likely having that gun because they sell drugs or they commit violent crimes. So it's a necessary evil. Just like if you have laws and you want police to enforce those laws, you have to have police.
I didn't say anything about anything else other than seatbelt and registration tickets. That's it. That's all I said. And the idea of us coming up with ideas was how to improve the relationship and people's view of the cops, the police. I mean,
that starts at home.
those seem like, well, that's a completely different conversation. We could talk about all that, and we would probably have a whole lot of agreements about that. I was just talking about things that the police could do that would improve the relationship.
Okay. What's your issue with seatbelt? What's your issue with seatbelt and registration?
Well, registration. Well, I don't know how it is in your state, but okay. So here in Arkansas, my registration was $21, and the way that they've got 3 different places that you have to go to pay your personal property taxes. Then you have to you got to get it assessed. Then pay your personal property taxes, and then go to a different place to go get your registration. It's so stupid, and they expect people to get this done during normal working hours. So my registration was $21, and I didn't make it one day. And I forgot about it. Then they start charging you $3 every 10 days, I think. So my registration ended up being $45 instead of 21. I get pulled over while it's late, and the cop gives me a ticket. He says your registration's late. Okay, so I go down there. I pay $45 instead of the normal $21. Now I haven't hurt anybody, and then I go into the court room for the ticket, and the ticket's $85. And I brought my receipts and I brought my updated registration. I don't know why the fuck you got to pay registration every year. It's goddamn retarded. But anyway, we employ all these people and they got to collect some more money. So I go in there and I show the judge. I say, he says, Mr. Barber, why have you come before me today? I said, well, I was hoping that the court would throw out the ticket. Here's my updated registration. You know, I went and assessed my personal property taxes and got the thing that I got to drive all the way across town to go get my registration with, and they were closed. He says, well, we don't throw out tickets here. So they charged me $45 instead of 21, so I paid late fees, and then I had to pay $85 for the ticket. That's asinine to me. Credit card companies don't even get away with $21 into $45 in 80 fucking days, let alone charging a local ticket for $85. That's the kind of shit that just pisses people off. Seatbelt tickets, on the other hand, you're responsible for yourself. I think we would all agree with that. What is the government's issue with me not wearing a seatbelt in my own fucking personal property in my own trip while I'm driving? What's the issue? They'll let motorcycles ride on the road with people wearing helmets, and they'll also let people on the road with motorcycles not wearing fucking helmets. Now, how can you give somebody within a contained automobile with glass and steel and cages and shit and all sorts of stuff around them, dashboards and wheels? You can give them a ticket for not wearing their seatbelt, but you're not going to give somebody on a motorcycle a fucking ticket for not wearing a helmet with no cage, no steel, no glass, no wheel in front of them, none of that kind of shit. It doesn't make any sense. It's lobbying in a sense because they're protecting insurance companies.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if somebody steals your car and it's registered in your name, that's protection, is it not?
It's registered in your name regardless when you file the title. Change ownership. Registration just goes every fucking year, and you got to keep paying and keep paying and keep paying. You also, in this state, have to pay personal property tax, which there's variants of that all across the United States. Some states do that, some states don't. But you pay sales tax when you buy it, and then every year you have to pay another percentage of the value of that vehicle to the fucking state, and then go down and pay registration.
Like, you know why they do all those laws? It's because when you pay taxes and you pay registration, it funds the police salary. I mean, that's what police officers say. They say, what is one thing on Joe Rogan's podcast? Joe Rogan asked him, say there was no traffic crimes for 3 months. He said a whole police station will get laid off because that's how they get paid. They get paid by the tickets. That's why they have quotas.
They don't get paid strictly from tickets. That money goes to their budget. They can give raises. I don't think that money actually flows through to their salaries. I think they're funded solely by taxpayer money.
Yeah, but I mean, the tickets help. They try to raise as much money as possible.
Oh yeah, for better equipment and better pension and better raises and more training and to be able to pay for more overtime hours. Dude, the sheriff's department here, White County Sheriffs, they're working 60 hours a week. Now, I don't know why the fuck they're working 60 hours a week, but they are. And they've been doing it for I think it said 4 or 5 months. Why?
I mean, we don't like it, but I mean, it's a necessity. Like the tickets and everything. So, I mean, the police work's expensive. It's the budget. It has to get paid.
What crime do police actually prevent? I mean, they only respond after the fact, right?
Yeah, but
No,
like I
that's
was
not
saying
true.
with traffic, like I was saying with traffic, like they find drugs, they find guns, they find people with warrants. Like there are crimes that are preventative. Like you don't know how many people's lives have been saved from them arresting someone that had a gun or a warrant or like you. It's just like when it comes to there's no real way to prove how many times someone having a gun saved someone's life because you're less likely to have a murder or you're less likely to have a police incident. Like just the fact that you can brandish a firearm shows that like you're more likely to not have an incident if someone else knows that you have a gun. So like it's the same idea. You can't really test to see how much crime is actually down from them doing these smaller crimes and arresting people for warrants and traffic stops, stuff like that.
Are you guys familiar with civil asset forfeitures?
Yes.
No.
So basically, cops will pull people over and they find reasons to search the car, and if they find large amounts of money or weapons or any kind of that, and they think that it's illicit and they think that you're involved in crime, they can seize your money, they can seize a weapon, they can seize your vehicle, and you have to, and there's no recourse. They don't even have to charge you with a crime. And you basically have to plead your case in court, get lawyers, file motions, go back and forth with all these pleadings for 6 months, and hope maybe you can get your shit back.
I agree.
That's what police officers do nowadays, and they do it on interstates a lot. It's real bad in Texas. It's real bad in New Mexico. It's real bad in Arizona.
Do you know what's common?
I've seen them do it in California.
Do you know what's real common in those states that you mentioned?
Oh yeah, drugs
And human trafficking and drug trafficking and arms trafficking.
You completely missed what I just said. They don't have to charge you with a crime. They can seize anything and everything in your vehicle if they just suspect you of being a criminal. They don't have to have any evidence. They didn't even have to pull you over for anything in particular. They can say they pulled one couple over and they said that they had saints in their back glass of Catholic saints, and they said that those saints in their back glass typically go along with drug people. And this couple was going to Louisiana. They were on their way to Louisiana to buy a used vehicle. I think it was like a van for their business or something, and they had $10,000 cash. They seized their vehicle, they seized the cash, and I think maybe her purse or his wallet or maybe both.
Blake, here's the thing with that. When you were saying, do police prevent crime? That is literally how they prevent crime. If you look suspicious, like if you have a mask and you have gloves and you have ropes in your car, they're going to be like, why do you have that? You're not going to get arrested, but they're going to question you, as they should, because you could possibly be a danger to the public. If you have a reason for it, then go ahead. Like that whole thing with having a bunch of cash. If you have $10,000 in cash on you, it's not illegal. But why do you?
No, it's illegal to carry $10,000 in cash on you.
No,
Okay,
not.
but
Yes, it is.
The fuck it is.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I'll donate 10 if that's truth.
It's the truth. It's illegal to carry 10 grand on you.
No conditions, no nothing. You're just saying it's illegal to carry $10,000.
Correct. You're not allowed to carry $10,000 without getting permission.
But here's the reason why it's like that. Is because you're carrying that kind of cash. Why are you carrying that kind of cash? Are you making a drug deal? Are you trying to buy a stolen car?
It has to do with money laundering, and also has to do with by you having a large sum of cash, you're putting yourself in danger. So there's laws that you're not allowed to carry large sums of cash without getting permission. Like you can't. If you go and try to withdraw $10,000 in cash, you can get flagged by your bank to the government.
You get reported to the IRS. It's not illegal. It says right here, this doesn't say exactly. It says the fact is you may legally carry any amount of money you want into or out of the United States. Now, that doesn't say within the United States, but if you can carry it into the United States from overseas, that says that it's legal to me. But there is a catch. When transporting more than $10,000, you must file a report declaring the exact amount of funds you are transporting to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. So it's not illegal.
But you don't think that's a good thing?
You're not allowed to carry $10,000 without getting permission or stating that you're doing it.
It doesn't say permission. You just have to say how much you're carrying.
But that's permission.
No, he's talking about leaving the country.
It doesn't say it's illegal.
He's talking about leaving the country. He's not talking about just walking around.
All right.
What's the difference? You can carry it into the United States from another country. I don't see that they would say, well, you can't carry that money within the United States, but you can carry it into the United States.
Blake, you don't see how that's there to protect people? That if people could have weapons or a large amount of cash, the fact
they do those things anyways. Do you guys know how the clubs work, right? All those hip hop clubs and stuff, how they launder money through those?
Yeah, but here's the thing with the hip hop clubs: they pay you in advance first. They pay you in advance. Say you get paid $20,000,
right?
You get paid in advance first, right? You don't know if that's cash or not. We never know because we're not rappers. We don't know. They could be getting paid through wire transfer. We don't know.
No, I'm saying phantom ticket sales. That's how they launder money. They do the same thing through actual laundromats. And restaurants too. The cartels do that shit through all these restaurants and stuff that you see pop up everywhere. The cartels are laundering their money through false sales, and they're also doing it through paying for the commercial property. That's how they're washing their money.
Yeah, but I'm going with Savage Point, man. The permission is the bank. If you go withdraw your money out the bank, let's say you withdraw $9,999, you're fine with that. Once you go over that dollar point, they're gonna ping you.
That's arbitrary. Yeah, they report you to the IRS. They just say, hey, this guy, he's doing large transactions. You might want to look at him.
Yeah,
that's not illegal.
But
they don't need permission.
But that's the point. Like, if you have $10,000 in cash on you and you get pulled over, that is suspicious, correct?
No. What's suspicious about it?
Do you carry 10 grand on you?
No, the most I've ever carried is 5, probably.
Yeah, like 10. Like, this isn't $1,000. It's 10 grand. Like. Listen. Literally, if you are making $100,000 a year, you are 10% of the population. After taxes and whatnot, even if you're making 100 grand a year, you're not gonna just have 10 grand laying around to carry around in cash. Like, most of the population doesn't have 10 bands to just walk around or drive around with cash.
I know a lot of people that have 10 grand in their safes at home. They go buy equipment and shit like that at auctions with cash.
But like, let me ask you, why do you think a criminal would use a large amount of cash?
Well, I mean, it's obvious. It's untraceable.
And that's custom. It's custom.
It's untraceable. Most people use cards. So if you're carrying a large amount of cash, here's the thing. If you have a reason, if you're going to buy a car and you prove that, you will keep the cash on you. But if you have no proof or anything, they will take it from you.
Do you really think they're just going to give you the money back?
They do, yeah.
You didn't even know about it.
No. I didn't know the name. But I did hear about the cash.
So the couple that I was talking about, why did it take them 6 months to get their money back? Like, what gives the law enforcement the right to enforce a law that doesn't exist and take your fucking money?
To protect people.
How does that protect people?
Because listen, the cops had no idea.
No. Answer the question. How does taking somebody's money out of their hands and their vehicle and their purse and their wallet and all that shit, how does that protect people?
Okay, so if I'm a cop, I have no idea what's going on, and I see somebody with $10,000, I'm gonna assume this guy's gonna make a drug deal. So if he's gonna make a drug deal, that means that money is gonna fund a drug dealer. Drug dealers are violent and they ruin communities. So me as a cop, me assuming that, I'm saying I'm gonna stop the drug deal from happening, and I'm gonna.
You don't even know that a drug deal is happening. That's what I'm getting.
And you will know that's not happening. Is that true?
So you're just gonna take people's shit and then make them pay.
You're not taking
make them pay for a lawyer. Make them pay for a lawyer and travel back to the court and deal with a fucking judge and all you lying buddies and try to get your money back that didn't belong to law enforcement to begin with. You didn't actually break a law.
But if you had a reason,
and you're trying to do all this in distress with money that you don't have anymore. That's bullshit.
Mr. Blake,
That's
Mr.
not even
Mr. Blake,
that's not even in line or in keeping with the Constitution.
Mr. Blake, did they get their money back?
No,
They didn't.
not the
Why
last
they
time.
go-
Not the last time that I saw that case reported.
Okay,
There's a
You
bunch
know,
of-
So listen, I just read. All right. So it's not that it's illegal. You can carry any amount of money that you want. But anytime that you do a $10,000 transaction, the bank has to report it. So with that being said, if you have $10,000 in cash and there is not a report of you having $10,000 in cash by the Bank Security Act and enacted inherent money laundering and utilizing in the United States Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, the BSA mainly obligates banks, not citizens, to report transactions of more than 10,000. So by you having $10,000, all right, if that is suspicious, we can agree, right?
no.
Do you think it's average to hold $10,000? The average person holds $10,000 in his pocket.
I didn't. Hold on. I didn't say anything about average. That's not what we're talking about here. You said suspicious. What is suspicious about that?
Because
I just told you that my brothers probably have that much money in their safe. I know a bunch of farmers that have that much money in their safe. They take it to auctions all the time and go buy equipment. My brother takes it up to Kansas City and he bought 4 flatbed trucks, brought them back on his trailer. What's suspicious about it?
Yeah,
It's
that
not
depends. That depends on your location, though. That truly depends on your location.
So you're going to tell me that
I don't mean to. Can I interject, Mr. Jordan? I'm sorry. Your location's in Arkansas, correct?
Yeah.
It's a small community, correct?
Yeah, it's like 23,000 people.
Compared to inner city. So they're more than likely those men that you're talking about, your family, they're known, around the neighborhood. We're not saying that they're the majority though. They're the exception to the rule. So they're known for buying equipment. They're farmers, correct?
No, my brother's working construction.
Okay, so whatever equipment he's buying, he's pretty known for that, correct?
Yeah, but he's not known in Kansas City for it. Like he goes all over the place and buys stuff. These guys, the one farmer that I know in eastern Arkansas or western Arkansas, goes all over the Midwest and down into Texas and Idabel, Oklahoma, and goes to all sorts of auctions, all sorts of different places. People don't know him everywhere. A cop doesn't know him in the middle of his journeys. Like he pulls him over. Oh, I see you got a bunch of green there, a bunch of cabbage in your passenger seat, Mr. So-and-so. We're going to have a problem. Let me take all that stuff. Let me take your trailer. Let me take your truck. What's suspicious about that? Meanwhile, they've got all of his shit, and you guys are justifying it because you think he's suspicious.
So you're going to tell me,
Go ahead, sorry.
If you saw me rolling around in my truck and I had $60,000 in cash on me, you're going to tell me that that's not suspicious.
Are you breaking the law?
Also, what happened that they got? Yeah, what happened, Mr. Blake? Why did they get pulled over and they found that cash?
Because the guy said that they had like stickers, like glass stickers of saints in their back glass, and typically their experience has been that people that work for the cartels have these particular saints in their back glass or somewhere on their vehicle. They have tattoos of them or something. So that was the reason for them pulling them over.
Okay, I'll agree with you on this point that some people do suffer unintended consequences of people who done wrong. So, like, let's say somebody just ran and robbed a neighborhood that just happened to be black, and I'm just around that neighborhood and I'm black and I didn't do nothing. I get pulled over for what the last person did. And I think, is that where you're trying to come from with that? Where that some people just face unintended consequences for not doing nothing. Let's just say the cartel before were doing what the cops were saying, and they just happen to see your family or your friends who did that, and now they pulled them over. Is that
in these situations? I see the government as a cartel. I mean, If they're enforcing their job is law enforcement, and they're supposed to uphold the Constitution, and we believe in innocent until proven guilty, and that there requires evidence and witnesses and all sorts of things to prove that guilt. But they're not even enforcing any laws. They're taking shit from people that haven't broken any laws.
But they did have their day in trial.
It's not. No. This isn't a trial. It's not a criminal case. They have to plead. They have to plead to the department, to the judge. I don't know if it's held in district court. I don't know if it's federal, civil, local. I don't know all the details, but it's pretty. It's pretty sticky. Let's just say it's pretty hairy.
So what it is they still have a chance to get their money back. It's not like they just took their money and just spent it elsewhere. Was it a mistake on their end? I'm in agreement with you on that. But they still have their chance. I was just listening to a podcast this week. The guy, hold
on.
Yes.
Your standard here, you think that the cops should have taken it. They shouldn't have ever.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said that they made a mistake on their end, the cops.
And so you think it's a positive that these citizens that were fucked over have a chance, maybe a chance to get their shit back?
It's a mistake
you think that's
that they made, but they still have it. Hold on. They still have. I never said it's a positive. I never said that. I said that they have a chance to get their stuff back. You know, just like if I was to get pulled over and beat up by police, I have a right to go to court and sue them. I could file a $400. Hold on. I could file a $400 lawsuit with the federal government and have them watch over the case. A lot of people don't know that. They don't tell you this. Why? Because they want to keep you lost. They want to make you hate the police. So let me ask you one more question. Mr. Blake. In your whole life, have you ever had a positive interaction with the police?
Yeah.
Can you explain that one?
Few. One of them that I explained to Savage the other night was things weren't going good between my girlfriend and I, my ex, my baby mama. And anyway, long story short, she came home late drunk, and we were supposed to go out that night. And I was sober, and we kind of had an argument, and I basically told her, I'm done. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm going to sleep here tonight on the couch. And she started yelling, screaming, that kind of thing, getting in my face, pointing, looking down on me, telling me about all the things she's going to do. You're not going to see your daughter again. You're going to pay. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. I'm going to screw you over so bad. My family's going to be there behind me and whatever. She wouldn't leave me alone. So I stood up. I told her to go to bed. She wouldn't. I grabbed her by her tank top straps and put her in the bedroom. And she called the cops and told them that I slapped her and choked her, and she scared up some tears. And I was thankful that the cop didn't arrest me. I was thankful because she was so drunk and so obviously faking that he didn't buy it. I think if I had been drunk or even a little bit inebriated, I think maybe I probably would have gone to jail.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. You weren't drunk. You were absolutely sober. She lied on you, tried to get you arrested, and the cops saw through that.
Well, you can be drunk. You can be drunk at home. I mean, that's legal.
No, but the fact is, you weren't drunk.
Right.
So, like,
you know what's fucked up about that though? So, I didn't want to be there anymore, and I didn't have anywhere to go. It was like 2:30 in the morning. And I was kind of embarrassed. I didn't want to call my family, and me and my family are kind of not really on that level, I guess. So I went down to the end of the lane, and there was a church right across the street. And this was like 3:00 in the morning, middle of summer. And I went to sleep in my front seat of my truck. And I wake up to a police officer tapping on my glass. Now, it's not illegal. I didn't know this at the time, but it's not illegal to be there. They can't trespass you unless the owners of the property have a problem with you being there. The police can't even actually do anything to you. But he started running me through all these, are you on drugs? Have you been drinking? What the fuck are you doing here? Blah, 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 blah. I had to sit there and talk to him for like 10 minutes. Just harassing the fuck out of me. I wasn't doing anything. The keys weren't even in the fucking ignition. And I told him the story, and he didn't even believe me. It's like I felt lucky the night before because I wasn't drunk and because I actually wasn't hauled off to the jail for domestic violence. And then I tried to do the right thing, and then the police harassed me again and basically treat me like a guilty man on the spot there in the parking lot of this fucking church. Where all I was doing was sleeping.
So, Blake, have you ever went to a government building that had metal detectors?
Yeah.
So the security guards there are making you go through a hassle. You got to take all the metals out. You got to throw away your water bottles. And they're acting as if every single person that comes through is a potential danger, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would rather go through the minor hassle than the possibility of somebody going into a government building and shooting it up. I know it's like that's kind of more of an extreme example compared to what you're saying, but that's kind of what police officers do. They have to assume that every person is a potential threat for the safety of the public.
Well, that sounds like a great way to improve relationships between cops and people. Think everybody's a threat and think everybody's basically guilty and that we can take their shit while enforcing no actual law. These are great examples, guys. I really like them. That's good.
No.
I'm sure things will get great.
Here's the thing, though. We just had a point here. It's kind of off subject, but I'll say it. As men, we go through so much things with other men, whether it's police officers who have authority over us, that we forget that we have such a big problem with each other. Whether, the case with your girlfriend, right? She was the one in the wrong. Not you, not the police, nobody else, her. Just like this case earlier, we were talking about with the woman that hit the man with the car. And the face of all of this police brutality is men. There's cases where there was women that shot cops. I mean, not shot cops, shot people. Amber Geiger. We forgot about her. She's quiet. Nobody's talking about Amber Geiger no more. That one's an obvious case of in the wrong. She lied about it. Everybody forgave her. The family forgave her. Yes, go ahead.
Do you know the case of Daniel Shaver or like Tony Timpa or Jeremy Martis?
Yeah.
Do you know about any
I know about Tony Timpa, and I heard Daniel Shaver was the one in Phoenix. Those were egregiously in the wrong. In the wrong.
The funny.
Yeah, go ahead.
The funny thing about the Jeremy Martis one was those cops actually got prosecuted, but there was a big stink because the two cops that got prosecuted for I don't know what they charged them with, second-degree murder, I think. They were black, and there was a big stink about it. But I think the only reason that it got national coverage was there was a kid that got killed. The only person that died was a kid. A little boy, I think it was 5 or 6, and he was autistic or something like that. But that one actually got national coverage, and it didn't get necessarily positive national coverage. It was a racial thing. Anyways, it was kind of messed up. But I don't even know why I brought that up.
But here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Like with the Tony Timpa case, the reason they don't bring that up is because they want to create a narrative.
Yeah.
They want to create a narrative between white and black. That's at the end of the day, that's what they want to create. And that's the point we're just trying to make. Like, we know there's bad cops out here. We know that for a fact. But that doesn't take away from the good cops that are out here too. I mean, I say cops, police. There's plenty. Like Tony Timpa, they were laughing while they had his knee on his neck. The guy had mental issues. He's the one that called the police. And they were doing that to him. And we don't talk about that case. Because number one, that will expose mental health. That will expose people making fun of mental health. And that will expose the cops in the wrong making fun of mental health. And that's one thing that America doesn't play with is someone going through mental health. but they
I'll be
don't
right back.
really keep. Yeah. What's up, Jordan? Yeah, what's up, Jordan?
What's up?
Yeah, you know, like a lot of people don't care for men's mental health. Is what I'm trying to say. Men's
You live in New York
well-being.
City, right?
I used to live in the Bronx, moved to upstate New York, and then I'm now in Maryland.
You know how many homeless people are here in New York City, and it's because they're mentally ill. But people walk past them.
It's crazy. It's crazy how they just treat like war veterans who are men. They just treat them wrong. Like even in men's shelters, it's the low numbers are so small. I can imagine how it is just out there. DC, where I'm at, plenty of homeless men out here. They look like as shit, you know. And the point we're trying to make here is that with all the stuff that we're seeing on TV with the cops, they're only showing the males doing it. They're not talking about the females like Amber Geiger. They're not talking about. I think
it's kind of different.
Anytime
yeah,
there's what I've noticed is anytime that there's females involved, whether it be civilians or whether it be female cops, the male police officers lose their fucking minds. They act like that's another thing that I didn't bring up when I was talking about seatbelts and registration. Domestic disturbance calls to me are absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason that cops need to show up to those. If you can't report a crime or somebody's not bleeding or there wasn't a gunshot, the cops don't need to go there.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though.
Here's
Here's the thing.
Should be on the force.
Huh?
Yeah, I think so either. I agree. I agree all the way.
Should be on the police force.
Yeah.
I got lost in all that. Hold on. What?
I don't think that women should be
Okay.
on the police force.
Why do you say that?
It's a hard case to make, but
It's not hard.
Why do you say that?
If we go through and we do any sort of police being attacked or police getting hurt, where there's a woman, the woman is never doing anything. Ever. Women are liabilities in those situations. They are.
Savage, did you see that video in Atlanta where the cop was chasing a girl down the street? She ran out of breath, the female cop?
No.
Oh, it's funny as shit.
I don't like there was a reason why they didn't let women into platoons in combat, because if the four of us sign up to go to the army or go into the military and we're behind enemy lines and one of us gets hurt, the rest of us have come to an understanding that we will let that guy stay there and die for the rest of us to live. Men don't do that with women. 9 times out of 10, if a woman was to get hurt, men are going to go back to get her. So they become a liability because you're not going to treat them the same way that you would treat a man. Just like if you're a cop and the woman, you're getting attacked, you now have to worry about this guy, and you have to try to keep yourself between this guy and her, and she's not going to help you. You're pretty much doing it by yourself. And now if there's 2 people and there's a cop, a female cop, you're not like it's you by yourself. Like, you do realize that anytime there's a female cop on a force, they don't let the females ride with another female. It's always a man and a female. Why is that?
For physical altercations.
Because they pretty much, it's a sympathy hire. It's literally a sympathy hire. Like, oh yeah, you can get it, girl, but we'll make sure we have a guy with you just in case shit goes bad. Like it. I don't feel that we should. I feel it's a liability. And also, women always are on some fuck shit because they have to prove that they're so tough. So you see a lot of fucking bullshit happen with women. Like, and also you gotta think, women are based on. When you're a cop, you're based on the idea that if you're afraid for your life, that you're able to use deadly force. Well, 9 times out of 10, most men that you come across are bigger than a woman. So automatically the woman is at a disadvantage. Also, if things go south or she feels scared, she's more likely to pull her gun. She's more likely to pull a gun and shoot. Like, the entire premise is bad. It's just bad because women aren't going to go hand to hand. If a guy's resisting, she's more likely to pull her gun. Like, a guy's more likely to get the advantage on a woman. Like, they're just a liability.
Women, you could make the case that women do change the psychological makeup and perspective of men in all those situations. It makes those situations even worse. You could make that case.
Yeah, and also here's the other thing. So there's a video I seen of this woman. This guy pulled a gun on her and he shot at this female police officer, and she got shot and she ran away. Do you know what she got? She didn't pull her gun. She didn't return fire. Do you know what she did? She fled, called for backup, and got a Medal of Honor, or like a Medal of Valor or some shit. But she did not unholster her gun. She did not return fire. She just ran. You and I both know that had a man been in that situation, he would have at least gotten he would have got out of the being shot. He would have moved to where he had cover, and he would have at least returned fire. He would not have ran and called for backup and waited for backup.
You can't say that necessarily. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but you're not going to be able to pitch that to anybody.
She got shot in the leg, bro. Like, she didn't get shot in the face. She didn't get shot in the chest. She got shot in the foot. Like, she was able to run away. Like, she literally ran and didn't get killed. So clearly the guy wasn't pursuing her. Like, she never pulled her gun out of her holster. Like, no one can make a logical argument and tell me that a guy would not at least have pulled his gun out, that he at least have shot once.
Savage, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I don't think cops will want to start a shootout on the street. I think that's why I think a man would call for backup and kind of trap him and try to not cause any damage to surrounding civilians.
Bro, listen, if you shoot at me, I'm busting. I don't give a fuck.
I'm talking about
I wanted to tell you guys. So about 100 yards from my house, there's a highway, and one night I was outside with the dog, and I don't necessarily trust the cops anyways. And I saw him, sheriff and a local PD guy. They were around this empty lot, and there was a truck there. And I see one of the cops with the door open, and it looks like the truck was abandoned. And he's going through the stuff, and he's got his flashlight out. And so I thought, that's pretty fucking weird. And so I go across the highway and then across the street. And I'm standing there on the corner, and I was actually videotaping him. And it turned out there was a guy on the tailgate. So I just sat there and I watched them for a little bit. And they got done talking to the guy. They didn't give him a ticket. No, nothing. They were just, I don't know, harassing him, questioning him. And they come over across the street to me. Now I'm standing on the sidewalk. And one guy stood in front of me. He was like 6'4", maybe 260 pounds. He's a big dude. And then the other guy stood on the side of me. And they said, "Why are you videotaping?" And I said, "Well, is that illegal?" And they said, "Well, no, not really." And I said, "So why are you talking to me?" And they started making up all this shit. And we're going to trespass you from this convenience store. And we're going to do this. And we're going to do that. They were intimidating me. Guy kept stepping closer and closer and closer to me. And dude standing on the side flanking me. It's like tactics. That's exactly what they're taught to do for criminals and shit like that. And they started lying about all this shit. And then I said, "Well, you can't trespass me because I'm standing on the sidewalk. This is public property. And there's been no complaint from the private business owner whose property I'm not standing on." And they started taunting me, saying all sorts of shit about, "Yeah, I bet you wish you were strapped," and blah, 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 all sorts of stuff. And then, "Why is your heart beating so much?" And, dude, police officers do that shit all the time. All the fucking time.
But what if that was a female officer and she said that to you? Would you pay it any mind? Would you find that more threatening?
One time at that same convenience store, I saw two cops, and they were parked right in the middle of the driveway. And they were parked, and they'd been sitting there for like 10, 15 minutes. So I walked over there to rattle their cage a little bit. I said, "Hey, what are y'all sitting here for?" It was one female officer by herself and then one male officer by himself. She took off, flipped a nut in the parking lot, got out of her car, and walked up to me as though she was going to do something. Hollering and screaming, "It's none of your fucking business." I said, "Why are you guys parked right in the middle of the driveway to get into this convenience store?" I said, you guys have been sitting here for like 10 or 15 minutes. And she just flipped the fuck out. Cops do this shit all the time. Dude, they're not servants of the public. They don't fucking prevent crimes.
That's why we should get rid of them. Get rid of all police.
That's not. I've not made that case, Savage. That's not even close to what I've said.
Yeah, but that's but the point that I'm making is simple.
It's not a point because it's not based in reality. I didn't say any of those things.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not making the argument that you did. I'm just saying it's a necessary evil, is what I was saying.
Blake,
So
you ever heard about that day? I think the blue flu, the day where a bunch of cops took a sick leave at the same time, and there was a huge jump in crime. I mean, can't you say that the lack of presence of police caused the jump in crime? And when the police came back and it went down, don't you think their presence diminishes crime?
For response, yeah, maybe for robberies and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's looking at somebody and they're thinking about robbing the guy, taking his phone out of his hand, and he sees two cops sitting at the store over there, he's gonna be like, I can't rob him. There's cops right there. I mean, that's the obvious scenario.
Well, one of the things that Savage kind of alluded to earlier, to me, I don't think that any of these things are a particular primary problem. To me, the one thing, maybe a series of things that we probably ought to do in this country is make marriage an enforceable contract. Children who aren't born under wedlock probably should not get the same amount of welfare that you would for a child that was born under wedlock. Give men rights in family court, 50-50 default custody, get rid of child support. Any number of these things would improve the makeup of our society and the trust, and lessen the stress, lessen the mental illness, lessen the financial problems. These are the kind of things that to me are way upstream at the headwaters of our culture and our society, and they certainly inform the population as far as criminality. If you look at the stats for criminality, it's like 91% of people in prisons grew up in broken homes or were raised without a father, basically.
Yeah, that's true with the fatherless homes. But here's the thing: women are right now, I think, in terms of population, they're the majority, and they're going to vote for their policies to be in. They're going to want their abortion clinics. No, I'm just saying this a fact, though. They're going to want their abortion clinics. They're going to want things for themselves. With men, we're so all over the place. With women, they're high-minded. If we can't be high-minded because all of us have our own ideals. So with women, they have an agreement that whether they're white, black, Chinese, whatever the end goal is, we have to work for it. That's how women work. They're very high-minded. That's how they think. But a lot of things they're just not going to happen. Like child support, alimony, that's not just going to happen. That's why they have a thing, and it's on YouTube called "Save Yourself, Black Man." A lot of black men are just saying they're walking away from marriage. I think on your end they got the MGTOW thing going on. Well, these guys they're just walking away. Population is decreasing. I think the stats just said it. About 48 to 50% of black men don't have kids. They're single and childless. I think it's about 24% of black men are actually single fathers. So they can be baby fathers, they can be single, not in a relationship in the kids' lives, whatever. They can be just like that. And I think that leaves about 30-some% that are married. So the narrative is that there's a lot of fatherless homes, but on at least the black community. But it's
the white community too. It's Hispanics. It's everybody. It's all gone up.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about in terms of the black community, like, it's less men having kids. They're walking away from this because they've seen the child support. They grew up with the child support, welfare, alimony, bad parenting. They're walking away from it. So I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do, but that's what they're doing right now. They're not saying we're going to go fight for child support, because there's too many guys that are eating off of this too. There's a lot of guys who are eating off of a woman who's on welfare. There's a lot of guys who are eating off a woman who's on alimony. They're not going to give up that meal ticket.
Yeah, I used to see it down in Hot Springs all the time. There'd be a white gal walking down the street, probably weighs like 280 pounds, and she'd have 3 kids, and they're all white kids, and then she's got a black dude that's walking next to her, and I'm just like, yeah, he could do way better than her, but why is he with her? And it's exactly what you're talking about. I'm sure she gets, $400 worth of food stamps a month, and she's probably got 3 different child support checks coming in, and she probably gives him all he wants because he lays down with her once or twice a week. I was like,
That's true. So, like, what you're seeing here is, like, with us 4 men here, whether I'm not sure if all of us are fathers. I mean, I'm a father of 3. I got one I'm paying child support for one right now, my first one. And, like, we all agree that, hey, this joint is wrong. If I knew about Big Tower, whatever, who knows what life would have been like. But for this younger generation, the millennial generation, they're walking away. They're not getting married. They're not even having kids. So that's scaring a lot of women away.
Yeah, I got 2 kids, and I'm actually going back to court next month for my daughter's child support, and then next year I gotta go back for my son's child support, and I'm getting raked coals and child support.
So earlier when I mentioned cops not showing up to domestic disturbance calls, what did you guys think about that?
I'll say this, like, a lot of domestic disturbance calls are bullshit on the woman's part, and there's some that are. I don't know the percentage of which ones are bullshit and which ones are not, but if you're speaking to men like us, it doesn't make a difference. But let's say you got a daughter. Sorry, you have a daughter, and you're not around, and she dates a boyfriend that beats on her. Who's gonna look out for her?
You're assuming something. You're assuming that there was a beating.
I'll be honest with you. I don't like. Listen, if a dude hits my daughter one time, shame on her. Shame on him. If he hits her the second time, shame on her.
Yeah, I agree on that point. But I'm just saying, if we're not there, she's gonna call the cops. You know what I'm saying? That's what she's gonna do. That's just
you're assuming something. I said domestic disturbance. People call the cops when there's voices raised.
Okay.
That's how my
you
cousin.
didn't mention that part. My bad.
That's how my cousin got killed on his front porch. He didn't break any laws. He didn't hit anybody. Yeah, they were having an argument. Big fucking deal. And nosy neighbors called the cops, and the cops showed up there thinking that they were going to protect some fucking woman.
Yeah. So
and my cousin got shot on his front porch.
So I'll say this, like, a lot of that goes into what you were talking about, Mr. Savage, earlier with this whole how they view men thing. And it goes into, like, if a woman calls a domestic disturbance on us, they're going to automatically assume we're the aggressor.
Right.
That's not even the case. Like, or they'll hear voices and they'll think we're the aggressor. That's just a narrative that's placed on us as all men. Do I think they should cancel that out? I don't know. I can't say. I don't know. I don't know how I would like to be.
That's not. But again, that's not an issue with police. That's an issue with women.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
It is an issue with police, because if they don't treat all citizens and actually enforce laws, and they just want to insert themselves into a private situation and be nosy as fuck, then it is an issue with police.
Yeah, but if she didn't call the police, they wouldn't be there.
If it's domestic disturbance, there's no crime reported. It's not a crime to have an argument.
Listen, bro. If I come into your house and shoot you, and you go to the hospital, and the doctor fucks up and you die, is it really the doctor's fault, or is it my fault?
There's no crime committed. You're going way past the issue. What I'm talking about is not a crime. My cousin didn't hurt anybody that night. A nosy neighbor called because of raised voices. And the cop showed up and pressed the issue and pressed the issue and pressed the issue. And he got shot on his front porch. She wasn't even there. She walked down to the fucking neighbor's house down the street.
Have you seen the body cam footage?
There was no body cam footage. It was in 2010.
So
there was
there a witness?
Another cop, yeah.
So we don't you don't know if your cousin was being belligerent or drunk or you don't know. Like we're just going off an idea.
Is being belligerent or drunk, is that a crime?
It is if he was getting aggressive with the cops or he was resisting arrest or something.
But you also make an assumption because you weren't there.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't that's all I'm saying.
He died on his front porch, and he never broke a law. He didn't want the cops there, and there was no reason for them to be there because there was no law report broken.
So they just shot him for no reason.
They said that he threatened them.
Was he drinking?
I don't know. Probably.
Is it possible that people say and do shit when they're drunk? I know I fucked some bitches I'd never want to fuck sober while I was drunk. What? Is
that a reason to die on your front porch?
But it is if he answered the door with the gun and was being belligerent. It is if he said he was going to go get a gun. It is if he was
They said it went on for 35 minutes. They kept knocking, and he told them to leave, and they wouldn't leave. And then they said that he threatened them after 4 other police officers showed up or something. Guy's name was Scott Hinojosa. My cousin's name was Chris Samples, and the only witnesses were other cops.
Yeah, I don't know the case.
He'd never broke a law in his life. Well, I shouldn't say that. He was not violent. He might have got traffic tickets, but he wasn't violent. He was the nicest, most mild-mannered dude that I've ever known. You show up to somebody's house when a law wasn't even reported broken, and you pester the fuck out of them when they're already in a heightened state of being pissed off, being sad, emotional distress, and you push the issue, and somebody gets mad when there's no reason for you to be there to begin with.
But again,
and you're justifying this.
But again, you forget that with domestic violence laws, they have to show up. They have to. It's part of the policy because of them not answering and people.
There was no domestic violence. What?
No, but listen. But what I'm saying is there are certain laws that they have to call. They have to go and they have to show up.
They're not laws. They're protocols and procedures. It's not a law.
Potato, bro.
Well, if they're law enforcement and it's not a law, what the fuck are they doing there?
It goes back to the man being an aggressor. That's what we're trying to say here. This whole podcast is show here is that.
What I'm saying is, if someone called disturbance, the people heard voices, heard shit, and they called the police, and the police were like, "Fuck it, I'm not going." It's not a law. And then dude's girlfriend was dead. The family would want to sue the police. So the police show up. There are reasons why the cops have to show up at certain calls. They're just like with it used to be in the 70s, if you got caught drinking and driving, they would tell you to go home. They'd drive you home. It wasn't a big deal. But then Mothers Against Drunk Drivers pushed the issue to change the way the laws were enforced. And now it's a big deal to be drinking and driving. There are reasons why they would have to be there, is what I'm telling you. They might have to go because there was a disturbance and there was a woman involved. They might have had to be there. I can't justify your cousin's actions, or I can't justify the police's actions because I don't know the case. But I can make an argument that there might have been a reason why they had to go there, and they might have had to do a welfare check, or they may had to have talked to him. There might have been something. I can't tell you either way. But I do know when it comes to women, there are certain laws that they have to follow.
So you think is this a good course of action? Do you think that these things should continue to happen?
I'm not saying that I'm fucking hell bent and sent in it, and I feel it's the best thing ever. all I'm saying is, you're saying that they went there and there was no crime. Regardless if there was a crime or not, even if there wasn't, they might have had an obligation to have to investigate because of policy being changed, because of incidents of people getting killed on domestic violences. Like, that's possible. I don't know. I think there is a law where they have to go they have to check on the domestic services for stuff like that. I think there is a law like that. But to just say that they had no reason to be there and they were just doing it to be dicks, I don't think that's necessarily a fair argument. Is all I'm saying to you.
It's just like a fireman going to get a cat up the tree. Do they have to go do it? No, but it's what they do.
Cats,
what they do.
Cats and trees.
You know. But like I said with that case with your cousin, man, it's just viewed as the man being the aggressor. You know, that's the issue that society is looked at as aggressive people.
And that,
well, I don't know what kind of people you guys have hung out with during the course of your life, but I've hung out with a pretty wide variety of money, relationships, all this kind of thing. I've never once seen a woman get hit, and I've never seen a woman with bruises on her face. But personal experience, I know that a close family member of mine has been hit a bunch of times by his wife, thrown things at him, all sorts of shit. I've been slapped, spit on, pushed, all sorts of stuff. And I've never hit a woman.
That's the thing, though. I know friends that got stabbed by women, beat up by women.
Right.
But the narrative is that we're still the aggressors, and that's a false narrative. You all know that's a false narrative.
I know for a fact of a dude that got shot 9 times here in Cleveland, and his girlfriend used to fuck him up. She hit him one time in the head with a glass ashtray so bad it split his whole dome piece, and he had to get staples and stitches. But at the same time, I can also tell you that I beat the shit out of my girlfriend I was with for 7 years that we used together. So like to say that women don't get hit, I'm not going to say is a fact.
Yeah.
But I also don't believe women get hit at the exact same rate as they try to say they do, because every girl you date always has a story about her ex beat her up and raped her and kidnapped her and all these crazy shit about every dude. Like, all women have the same story. If I don't know anybody I don't know any males that did that shit except for me.
I tried dating a girl after me and my ex broke up. It's been years and years and years ago, but we knew each other for maybe 3 weeks, a month. I'd been over to her house, and she was all flustered one day. She had 2 boys by her ex-husband, and I said, "What's the problem?" And she'd been going through like custody this and child support that, and she wasn't happy. And she said, "Well, the boys told me that they're getting abused by their, I guess it would be stepbrother. Stepbrother was quite a bit older than these boys." And I said, "Well, I don't understand. What do you mean?" And she said, "Oh, well, I think he's, putting things up their butt and whatever." But she let the boys go to go see their father, and then she was mad. And I kind of figured out that she was mad because she didn't get as much child support as she thought she was, and she didn't get full custody. And so she basically put into these boys' heads that they were getting abused by the stepbrother. And she told me this lie, even saying and even allowing these boys to go see their father when she knew that, or she supposedly said that all this stuff was going on. She went and filed a complaint, a false allegation. She rode this for a while, and finally I told her, "Look, you're lying your ass off to me. I don't believe you." And she flipped the fuck out. She was throwing stuff at me even in her apartment when I broke up with her. And this is not an atypical woman. Like, I've known women that say, "Oh, he hit me, and then he just one day started using drugs." And I was like, "Yeah, but you were with him for 11 years. Well, he just changed, and I don't know." And I'm like, "You're lying your ass off too." Like, men, generally speaking, get fucked over just about every turn that we go down. I mean, the culture, the culture is always deferent to women. It's even worse in conservative circles, I think, because conservative men want to believe that women are good, and they're not. They're just fucking people.
I don't believe that. I think it's actually the other way around. Get a Job YouTube channel has the best of Donald Trump's savage moments. He goes ham on those women. You know, like Donald Trump goes ham on those women. I think the old school conservatives that maybe you're talking about, maybe yeah, but the new school ones, to the certain extent, it's not to the point of liberalism. Liberalism started Me Too. When they talk about all the men that did wrong to women, or we have Asia Argento who was messing with a 15-year-old boy, and they sweep it under the rug.
The idea of human rights, and even, I mean, you could take it anywhere you wanted to, really, but even on the abortion issue, you would think that, like, to get around the topic, I don't think that they're ever gonna get rid of Roe versus Wade. I think it should be a pro-choice country, even though I'm not for abortion. I wouldn't advocate for anybody getting one, but there's so many arguments and things that conservatives could talk about to soften the situation, even socially, before people ever even get to the point where they're contemplating getting an abortion, that would solve the problem. But conservatives have this way of getting hyper focused on one thing, and they can't come up with ideas. They can't make arguments. They can't see things from any different perspective and try to accomplish something. It bothers me.
Yeah, that most definitely. I think it was a conservative who actually started Roe versus Wade. I think it was a conservative, old school conservative that started Roe versus Wade. I'm not against the abortions in terms of if it's privately, you do it your own money, your own decision. That's fine. But when it comes at the taxpayer's expense, that's an issue.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue. Yeah, subsidized in any way. You know, they always try to talk around it and say, oh, well, the money's not going to the abortion. Well, it's going to fund the clinic, and it's going to the utility bills, and it's going to the wages and the salaries and all this kind of stuff. So it is subsidizing abortion. Yeah, I can't go get 3 fucking staples in my head in the ER for less than $1,200, but you can go get an abortion for $500. Horseshit.
Yeah. So I mean,
well, so Trump fixed that. They don't get funds anymore.
It still doesn't address the main issue is you're. Oh, fuck it. It don't matter. That's too big of a conversation. It's way too late.
Yeah, it's 3 a.m. here. And I've been on for 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 40 minutes, and I was on live earlier. And
shout out to you, man.
My back is killing me, and my coffers are still light, so I think I'm gonna just take my rare bones and rest.
All right, peace, fellas.
Yeah, peace. Later. Good talking to you, Blake and Savage. Good talking to you, man. I will hit that cash app, man.
Listen, unless anyone in the chat wants to join the panel and has something that wants to bring, well, we could try to get spiritually closed for maintenance. We could probably try to get her on here and see if she can defend this fuckery with these women, because the fuckery is crazy intense with these cases. The fuckery is intense as shit with these cases. Spiritually closed. Why don't you pop up here on the stream and tell us what you think about these cases that we've been discussing. Any females can jump up here on the live and tell me what you think about this fuckery. because this fuckery is intense. I don't know who gave the thumbs down. There's always haters out there. You know what it be. There's always haters.
Hey man, you do your thing. You're getting up there, man.
Yeah, you know, you ain't doing something right if you don't have haters.
Indeed.
Shit.
All
right, guys.
I'm gonna call it a night, man. Thank you for having a good chat tonight, man. And Godspeed, man.
Of course, but I appreciate everybody. Stay savage. I'll see you guys tomorrow.